Talking like a winner isn't about sounding perfect or using fancy words. It's about speaking with confidence, clarity and purpose, showing up as the best version of yourself every time you talk. How you speak affects how people see you, how you feel about yourself, and how far you can go in life. If you want to change your life, boost your confidence, and open doors to new opportunities, learning to talk like a winner is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. This isn't just about words, it's about building habits, shaping your mindset, and taking control of how you present yourself every single day. In this video, you'll discover practical steps you can use right now to change the way you communicate and start getting the results you want. Stick around and find out how simple changes in your speech can transform your life and help you become unstoppable. Chapter 1. Start your morning with a clear, focused plan. Every day begins with a decision. The moment your eyes open, you're either stepping into a day of purpose or letting the hours slip away without meaning. The truth is, most people wake up and simply react. They check their phone, they scroll, they fall into old loops and mental noise without ever deciding how they want to live. But winners start their mornings differently. They begin with clarity. They begin with focus. They take ownership of their direction before the world has a chance to shape it for them. When you start your morning with a clear, focused plan, you're not just organizing your time, you're commanding your life. You are building the foundation of your character, your resilience, your self-respect, and it begins with a single choice. Decide who you want to be today. A scattered morning leads to a scattered life. When you wake up without a plan, without discipline, you invite chaos into your mind. You leave yourself open to distractions, mood swings, anxiety, and laziness. That's not weakness. It's simply what happens when there's no internal compass. Winners don't trust the day to go well on its own. They build it with intention. They plan it with purpose. Not because they're trying to be perfect, but because they understand one truth that average people ignore. Time is the most powerful tool you have, and what you do with it in the first hour sets the tone for the next 23. There's a feeling that comes when you wake up early, before the noise, and you know exactly what you need to do. Your thoughts are calm. Your goals are in front of you. You feel centered, prepared, grounded. You don't need to rush. You don't need to stress. That peace, that clarity, that's the reward for taking control of your morning. And it's a choice you can make every single day. Your mind is at its most impressionable right after you wake up. What you feed it matters. The first words you speak, the first thoughts you allow, the first things you see, all of them shape your energy and decision-making. If you wake up and dive into notifications, arguments, headlines, or social media, you are letting the outside world direct your emotions before you even fully know how you feel. You give away your power, and once it's gone, the rest of the day feels like you're playing catch-up. But when you choose to feed your mind with clarity, silence, direction, and a personal mission, everything changes. You create momentum before the world has a chance to interrupt it. It doesn't require a miracle to own your morning. You don't need a complex routine or a 10-step system. You need discipline. You need a few solid steps repeated with consistency. Wake up at the same time each day, early enough to give yourself space. Hydrate your body, move your body, even if it's just a walk or a stretch. Take a moment to be still, to breathe, to connect to your deeper self. Then write your plan. Not a list of tasks, but a focused intention for the day. What are the 3 things you must complete? No matter what. Who do you want to be today? How do you want to speak, act, and carry yourself? That clarity doesn't just guide your actions, it sharpens your identity. When you consistently wake up and reinforce who you are and what matters to you, you begin to trust yourself. You stop second-guessing. You don't need motivation. You've built direction into your routine. That's the quiet power that winners carry. They don't need to convince others they're focused. They live in alignment with their goals, and it shows. Discipline is not about being rigid. It's about freedom. When your mornings are clear, the rest of your day opens up. You stop wasting energy on indecision. You stop getting pulled in 10 directions. You already know what matters, so it's easier to say no to distractions. You make decisions faster. You complete your tasks with more precision. You avoid burnout because you're not just working. You're progressing with clarity. That's what separates those who struggle from those who grow. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's structure, repeated daily. The idea of starting your morning with purpose may sound simple, but that's exactly why most people ignore it. They want a secret. They want a shortcut. They want something dramatic that promises instant transformation. But the truth is always in the basics. When you master the beginning of your day, everything else improves. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. There will be days when you feel tired. Days when you don't want to get up early. Days when you'd rather scroll or stay in bed. But this is where winners are built, in the decisions no one sees. When you choose to stand up and follow your plan anyway, you create something much deeper than productivity. You build self-respect. You tell yourself, I do what I say I will do. And that's a powerful thing to carry through life. A clear, focused morning plan also protects you from emotional reactivity. Instead of waking up and reacting to stress, you anticipate it. You already know what challenges you might face. You're not caught off guard. That preparation allows you to respond with calm strength. Instead of panic, you become less fragile, less easily shaken, and more stable in your actions and thinking. Think about the difference in mindset. The person who wakes up late, grabs their phone, skips breakfast, rushes out the door, and has no plan is already starting the day in survival mode. They're reactive, stressed, overwhelmed. But the person who wakes up early, takes care of their body, focuses their mind, and sets a clear plan, steps into the day in creation mode. They are designing their life, not just surviving it. Your morning is not just a routine. It's a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. Every time you rise early and follow your plan, you prove to yourself that you are capable, focused, and in control. That identity becomes stronger with each repetition. You stop needing outside validation because your life begins to speak for itself. You're not talking about getting better, you're living it. This is not about being extreme. It's about being consistent. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. or journal for an hour or meditate like a monk. You need a simple, repeatable plan that anchors you. Maybe it's waking up at 6 a.m., stretching for 10 minutes, drinking water, reading a page of something meaningful, and reviewing your top 3 goals. That's enough. The point is to stop leaving your mornings to chance. Clarity is something you create. It doesn't just arrive. If you feel lost or unfocused in life, start by fixing your mornings. That's where the first crack of strength can break through. That's where self-doubt begins to fade, because when you wake up with purpose and live your plan, you no longer need to hope for a better life. You are building it. You won't see dramatic changes overnight. That's not the point. But over time, your days begin to look different. You get more done. You waste less energy. You make fewer excuses. You stop waiting for the right moment and start using the one you have. That momentum compounds. Weeks pass, and you feel lighter, more confident, more steady. You are no longer swayed by every emotion or delay. You are guided by your plan. What you do in the first hour after waking up shapes the next 23. If you've been feeling lost, tired, stuck, or behind, it's not because you lack potential. It's because your mornings have no direction. Fix that, and you fix everything. Winners don't hope for clarity, they create it. They don't drift, they decide. They don't waste time, they lead themselves, and it all begins before the world is awake. Not because it's impressive, but because it's essential. You can't live like everyone else and expect uncommon results. If you want to rise, then rise early. Rise with purpose. Rise with a plan. You are not powerless. You don't need to wait for motivation. You don't need someone else to believe in you first. You don't need more time. You need better structure. Start tomorrow by doing what most people won't. Wake up. Be still. Breathe. Think. Plan. Act. And do it again the next day. Over time, this becomes who you are. The truth is, you're already capable of more than you realize. You don't need to find yourself. You need to build yourself, and every day is a chance to prove that the person you want to become isn't a dream. It's a process that starts the moment you open your eyes and choose to live with focus. If you want to get better, do not wait for the right mood or perfect moment. Build your day before the day builds you. Step into the morning with a plan that reflects your values, your priorities, your mission. That plan will shape your day, your actions, your identity. And when you do this long enough, you'll no longer need motivation. You'll be living with quiet strength. That is what it means to talk and live like a winner. It begins in the morning. It begins now. Chapter 2. Build small habits that move your life forward. Progress is not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right thing consistently. When people imagine growth, they often picture big leaps, drastic changes that suddenly transform their lives. But real lasting change doesn't come in waves. It comes in steps. Small deliberate actions, done daily, are what move your life forward. Most people overlook this truth because they're searching for something that feels dramatic or instantly rewarding. But the people who actually change, the ones who break through fear, bad habits, self-doubt and wasted years, are the ones who understand that small habits are the only real foundation for a better future. You don't need to change your whole life in a week. You need to do one thing today that's slightly better than what you did yesterday. That's the path. That's the strategy. That's how transformation begins. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. But it works. And if you take it seriously, your life will change in ways you couldn't imagine at the beginning. A small habit is anything you do intentionally and repeatedly that aligns with your values, goals, and desired identity. It can be as simple as waking up 5 minutes earlier, reading one page of a book that sharpens your thinking, drinking a glass of water before coffee, stretching for 5 minutes in silence, writing down one thing you're grateful for, or cleaning up your desk before starting work. These acts seem insignificant in isolation, but done daily, they compound. They strengthen your mindset, improve your discipline, and build the structure your life has been missing. There's a reason why most people feel stuck, even when they say they want to grow. It's not because they don't care. It's because they try to do too much too fast. They create unrealistic expectations, try to fix everything overnight, and then burn out when they can't keep up. It's not sustainable. It's not honest. It's chasing a feeling, not building a system. The truth is, your future isn't shaped by intensity, it's shaped by consistency. If you want to move forward, make the process simple enough that you can do it even on your worst day. That's the key. A habit that only works when you feel motivated is not a real habit. It's a mood, and moods change. But real habits live outside of emotion. You show up and do them whether you feel like it or not. And that's where strength is built, in the ordinary moments where you act with intention instead of comfort. Small habits don't look impressive on the surface, but the strength they build is internal. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you prove that you are in control, that you are capable, that you are willing to do what others overlook, and that changes the way you see yourself. The most powerful part of any habit isn't the result, it's the shift in identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's always starting over. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. If you've been waiting for the perfect plan or the perfect mindset before taking action, you're wasting time. Start with something small and start now. The first step is choosing one habit that's so simple it's impossible to fail. One small thing that serves your goals and takes less than 5 minutes, and then repeat it daily. Once it becomes automatic, add another. Stack your progress gradually. Don't rush it. Don't try to impress anyone. Just build. This is how momentum is created. Not by giant leaps, but by steady, repeated actions that become part of who you are. The goal is not to feel good for a day. The goal is to create a system of habits that move your life forward without needing constant motivation. Once you build that system, you no longer have to rely on willpower. You have structure, and structure gives you freedom. You don't need to change everything. You need to change something. That's where confidence comes from. That's where discipline grows. When you set one habit and stick to it, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching, you build the kind of quiet strength that can carry you through anything. And that strength shows up in other areas of your life. You stop procrastinating as much. You stop escaping into distractions. You think clearer. You react slower. You grow without needing to force it. This process is slow, but it's also permanent. The habits you build today create the standards you live by tomorrow. It's easy to say you want to grow. It's harder to live in a way that proves it. But that's what separates those who succeed from those who wish. Winners don't need big breakthroughs. They need small victories, repeated daily, until success becomes inevitable. Think of where you want your life to be in 1 year. Now ask yourself what one habit you can build today that would make that future more likely. Then commit to it. Keep it small, keep it honest, and do it every single day, no matter what. This is how you take control of your life, not through pressure, but through purpose. You don't need permission to start. You don't need approval. You don't need to explain yourself. You need to act. Quietly, consistently, without waiting for anyone to notice. This is about you building a better version of yourself for your own peace, your own growth, your own future. No one is coming to do it for you, but you already have everything you need to begin. Most people won't do this. They'll keep chasing shortcuts and secrets and waiting for a better time. But if you build small habits now, habits that actually align with who you want to become, you'll slowly move away from the life that drains you and toward the one that fulfills you. You'll stop starting over. You'll stop drifting. You'll finally have direction. Small habits may not feel powerful at first, but they are. They are the quiet building blocks of your entire life. They shape your energy, your mindset, your discipline, your confidence, and your future. And when done consistently, they become unstoppable. So stop underestimating the small things. Start doing one thing each day that aligns with your highest self. Choose progress over perfection. Choose action over excuses. Choose structure over chaos. Choose to build the habits that will carry you when motivation fades, because it will fade. But if your habits are strong, you won't. And once you begin, never look back. Don't compare your progress. Don't question the pace. Just trust the process. Show up daily. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Live in alignment with what matters. And over time, you won't just talk like a winner. You'll live like one. Because every habit you build is a vote for the person you are becoming. And that person is built in the small, consistent steps you choose each day. Chapter 3. Eliminate one distraction that slows your progress daily. Progress doesn't just depend on what you do, it also depends on what you stop doing. Every day there's something pulling your attention away from what matters. It could be your phone, it could be mindless conversations, it could be worrying about things you can't control, it could be an environment that keeps you distracted without you even realizing it. These aren't harmless habits. They're obstacles. They steal your time, your clarity, and your energy. And the longer they stay in your life, the more they slow you down. If you want to move forward with focus and strength, you must make the decision to cut one distraction that's holding you back. Just one. You don't need to fix everything all at once. You just need to identify what keeps breaking your concentration or weakening your discipline, and then have the courage to remove it. This simple act can completely change the way you use your day. Most people stay stuck, not because they lack intelligence or ambition, but because they allow too many things to pull them in different directions. You can't build anything solid if you're always being pulled away from the work that matters. You can't build momentum if you're constantly starting over because something took your focus again. The way out of this cycle isn't to try harder. It's to remove the things that keep resetting your progress. You know what distracts you most. You feel it. You've seen it steal your time. You've seen it leave you with that dull frustration at the end of the day when you realize how little you actually accomplished. You don't need more time. You need fewer interruptions. Even one less distraction can free up hours of energy you didn't know you were losing. That time and energy can be used to build, to learn, to focus, to rest deeply, to improve in ways you've been trying to for years. Eliminating a distraction doesn't always mean deleting an app or throwing something away. Sometimes it means choosing to say no to something you've been allowing out of habit. It means making a conscious decision to protect your time and attention. It might mean turning off notifications for a few hours. It might mean moving your workspace to a quieter place. It might mean being honest with yourself about who or what constantly pulls you off track. This isn't about becoming strict or rigid. It's about becoming intentional. When you stop letting random things control your attention, you regain control over your direction. That's not discipline for the sake of control. It's discipline for the sake of peace. When your mind isn't bouncing between distractions, it becomes calm. And when you're calm, you think clearer, act better, and stay consistent. It's easy to convince yourself that the little distractions don't matter, but they do. Every time you check your phone while working, you're training your brain to crave interruption. Every time you stop mid-task to scroll, you weaken your focus, and over time, this becomes your default state. You may not notice it at first, but the long-term effect is that you stop finishing things. You start avoiding deep work. You get stuck in shallow loops, and that affects your confidence, your output, your goals, and your growth. The opposite of distraction isn't just focus, it's purpose. When you know what you're doing and why it matters, it becomes easier to remove what doesn't belong. You stop chasing every urge or impulse because you've decided what truly deserves your energy. That kind of clarity gives you strength in moments of temptation. When the distraction calls for your attention, you remember your direction. You remember that you've chosen a better use of your time. This doesn't mean you live without rest or breaks. You need those too. But rest is not the same as distraction. Rest is intentional recovery. Distraction is accidental escape. One recharges you, the other delays you. Know the difference and start choosing activities that refuel your body and mind instead of drain them with noise and mindless scrolling. One of the hardest truths to accept is that much of what distracts us is self-chosen. We allow it in. We keep it close. We say it's harmless or helpful or just temporary. But deep down, we know it's stealing something valuable. Time lost to distraction is time you never get back. And if you want to start living with purpose, that has to mean something to you. There's power in choosing what you no longer allow in your space. Even if it feels small, it's a declaration that your time matters. It's a signal to your mind that you are serious about growth. And once you start practicing this level of awareness and honesty, you begin to notice other areas where you've been letting distractions in. One decision leads to another. Progress builds. You reclaim your mental space piece by piece. You don't need to eliminate every distraction today. Just start with one. Choose the one that steals the most time or triggers the most stress. Create a rule for yourself around it. Something simple, then follow through. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might reach for it out of habit. But with each day you stay committed, the habit weakens and your control strengthens. Progress begins with clarity, and clarity begins with elimination. You can't focus on what matters if you're surrounded by noise. You can't live with purpose if you keep making space for distractions that serve nothing but temporary relief. If you want to move forward, then simplify your environment. Clean up the mental clutter. Say no more often, and give yourself permission to be fully present with what actually builds you. One powerful decision every day, that's all it takes. One less distraction each week. That's how your life changes. Not through pressure, not through extreme effort, through removal, through choosing what matters more, through building an environment that reflects your values instead of fighting against them. As you continue this practice, you'll start to feel lighter. You'll have more time without rushing. You'll begin completing things you once avoided. You'll notice that your thoughts are less scattered, and your energy lasts longer. This is not an accident. It's the reward of simplicity, and the best part is, it's completely in your control. If you want to live differently, then live differently. Start by cutting one thing that distracts you from what matters. Choose today to stop letting it win. Choose today to take one small but powerful step in the right direction. You don't need to wait until you're ready. You just need to act with intention. Remove the noise. Reclaim your focus. Move your life forward. Chapter 4. Track your progress to stay honest and motivated. You can only grow when you know where you stand. Progress isn't something you just feel, it's something you need to see. If you don't track your actions, your goals turn into vague hopes. And when progress isn't measured, it's easy to lie to yourself. It's easy to say you're trying your best when you're really just repeating the same weak efforts. It's easy to assume you're moving forward while standing still. That's why keeping track of what you do matters more than most people want to admit. It's not about being obsessive or rigid. It's about being honest with yourself. When you track your progress, you create a mirror that reflects your habits, your discipline, and your patterns. You begin to see the truth, and that's what makes growth possible. People avoid tracking because it forces them to face reality. It reveals the gaps between their words and their actions. But facing that truth is what separates those who improve from those who stay the same year after year. If you want to live with purpose, you need to measure your efforts. You need to hold yourself accountable to what you say you want. Tracking is how you stay grounded. It stops you from being swept away by moods or assumptions. It gives you real data about your actions. Were you consistent this week? Did you complete the tasks you set for yourself? Are you doing the work or just thinking about doing it? When you write it down, you can't hide. You see the pattern clearly. You see what's working and what's not. And that clarity helps you adjust quickly before the damage compounds. Motivation fades when you don't see results, but results are often hidden unless you're paying attention. If you're working on your health and you don't track your workouts or your meals, how will you know what's helping? If you're building a skill but never log your practice, how can you measure growth? If you're trying to change your habits but don't write them down, how can you recognize the wins? Progress is built on awareness, and awareness starts with tracking. You don't need a complicated system. You don't need charts or apps or expensive tools. A notebook works. A page on your wall works. A simple checklist on your phone works. What matters is that you have a consistent place to record your actions, your goals, and your reflections. Did you complete your plan today? Did you keep your promise to wake up early? Did you stay off distractions? Did you read, learn, move, or practice what matters? These are the small but powerful checkpoints that tell you whether you're becoming the person you want to be. When you track your progress, you create a sense of structure that motivates you to keep going. You see the chain of effort, and you don't want to break it. You see the trend of improvement, and it reminds you that the work is paying off. This creates self-respect, not because you're being hard on yourself, but because you're taking yourself seriously. You're treating your time and effort with the value they deserve. It's not just about what you do, it's also about how you feel doing it. That's why writing short reflections can be powerful. When you finish the day, take 1 minute to ask yourself what went right, what could have gone better, and what you learned. This keeps your mind sharp and your growth intentional. You stop sleepwalking through your routines. You bring awareness to your behavior, and that awareness builds maturity. Tracking also helps you stay emotionally balanced. On the days when you feel like you're not making progress, you can look back and see all the steps you've taken. You realize that even if results aren't immediate, effort has been constant. This keeps you from giving up too early. It helps you stay committed even when motivation drops. Because now you're not just guessing, you have proof of your discipline. You can't rely on memory alone. Your mind forgets the small wins. It exaggerates setbacks. It distorts progress. But writing keeps things real. It creates a timeline you can review. And when you look back after weeks or months, you see the difference between where you started and where you are now. That's how belief grows, not by hype, but by evidence. You stop saying, "I think I'm improving," and start saying, "I know I'm improving." There's also a deep sense of pride that comes from seeing your own progress, not in a loud way, not for anyone else, but in the quiet, honest moment where you realize you've shown up day after day. You see the proof that you didn't quit, that you moved forward even when no one was watching, that your efforts, no matter how small, are building something real. That's the kind of pride that strengthens your spirit, and that's something no one can give you. It has to be earned. This is how you stay motivated long term. Not by chasing new ideas or looking for better strategies every week, but by staying rooted in what you're already doing. By noticing the momentum you're building, by reminding yourself daily that progress is happening, even if it's slow, that motivation grows from action, and action grows stronger when it's measured and seen. Don't fall into the trap of only tracking big milestones. Track the small wins too. The days you showed up, the hours you practiced, the moments you resisted distraction. These are the seeds of discipline. They may not look impressive today, but in time, they become the foundation of who you are. Celebrate them, learn from them, stack them. They matter more than most people realize. You're not doing this to be perfect. You're doing it to stay aligned. Progress tracking is about honesty, not pressure. If you miss a day, you learn from it and continue. If you fall short, you write it down and reset. There's no room for shame here, only feedback. That mindset keeps you consistent without becoming rigid. It keeps you driven without burning out. And it gives you permission to grow with discipline and grace at the same time. Every day is a vote for the kind of life you want. Every tracked habit, every completed task, every reflection is a sign that you're moving in the right direction. This is how confidence is built, not from words, but from patterns, not from feelings, but from records. If you want to stay honest with yourself, then track what you do. And if you want to stay motivated, look back at what you've built. You already have the ability to improve, but that improvement depends on awareness, and awareness comes from tracking. So choose a system that works for you, keep it simple, keep it consistent, and make it part of your daily routine. With each entry, you sharpen your focus. With each log, you build discipline, and with each day, you become more aware, more stable, and more in control of your progress. This is how you live with clarity. This is how you build momentum. This is how you move forward with purpose. You measure, you reflect, you adjust, and you repeat. Not because you're chasing perfection, but because you're committed to growth. And that commitment measured daily is what will carry you toward the life you were meant to live. Chapter 5. Speak to yourself with truth, strength, and belief. The way you speak to yourself becomes the way you live. Every thought you repeat, every belief you reinforce, every word you whisper in your own mind leaves a mark on who you are becoming. Most people never question their inner dialogue. They carry years of self-criticism, doubt, and quiet negativity as if it's the truth. But it's not. It's a script built over time by fear, failure, and the voices of others. If you want to build a life grounded in growth, strength, and clarity, you must change how you speak to yourself. You live with your thoughts more than anyone else does. That voice in your head isn't just commentary, it's the constant companion shaping your emotions, behaviors, and standards. If that voice is filled with hesitation, shame, or weakness, it becomes difficult to take action. You stop trying before you even begin. You hesitate when you should step forward. You play small even when you know you were meant for more. The world's pressure doesn't destroy people. The voice they believe inside does, and that voice must be rebuilt with truth, strength, and belief. Speaking to yourself with truth means refusing to lie to yourself about your effort, your habits, your fears, your mistakes. It's not about being harsh, it's about being honest. Telling yourself the truth doesn't weaken you, it grounds you. When you admit you've been wasting time, you regain the power to change. When you stop pretending you're trying your best, you clear space to start showing up with real focus. Avoiding the truth only delays your growth. Facing it allows you to step into a new version of yourself. But truth alone isn't enough. You also need strength. Inner strength is built through how you respond to setbacks, how you carry yourself through discomfort, and how you push through the heaviness of self-doubt. That strength starts with the words you use. When you speak to yourself like someone capable, you begin to act like it. Even when you're tired, frustrated, or uncertain, remind yourself that you can handle this moment. Strength is quiet, it's steady, it's not loud affirmations. It's the solid tone of someone who refuses to give up. Belief is what holds it all together. Belief doesn't mean ignoring your weaknesses. It means choosing to move forward anyway. You don't need to be perfect to believe in yourself. You need to be willing to do the work, willing to grow, willing to face your flaws without letting them define you. Belief is a decision. It's not given, it's chosen, and that choice starts with the way you speak to yourself when no one is around. Self-talk isn't about being positive all the time. It's about being constructive, telling yourself what you need to hear, not just what feels good. Encouragement isn't empty praise, it's rooted in standards. It says, you can do better, and I believe you will. It holds you accountable while lifting you up. That's the balance most people miss. They either speak to themselves with too much harshness or too much comfort. Neither helps. The goal is to speak with firmness and support, like a mentor who sees your potential and refuses to let you waste it. There's power in pausing and asking yourself what kind of voice you're using today. Is it pushing you forward or pulling you down? Is it reminding you of your strength or repeating your fears? You can't move with confidence if your inner voice constantly questions your ability. You can't stay disciplined if your thoughts keep making excuses. And you can't grow if your mind tells you it's already too late. That's why this work matters, because the way you talk to yourself is the foundation of every decision you make. You have to be aware of the quiet phrases that weaken you. Statements like I'm just not good at this, or I'll never be as disciplined as others, or I always mess things up. These thoughts sound small, but they shape your actions. They become self-fulfilling. But when you replace them with grounded statements like I can improve if I stay consistent, or I don't have to feel confident to take action, or I've struggled before and kept going, you give your mind a new path to follow. It's not magic. It's direction. You can train your self-talk the same way you train your body. It starts with repetition. Every time you catch yourself in a negative loop, interrupt it. Replace it with something stronger. Not fake confidence, but real reminders of what you've survived, what you've built, what you're still capable of. Even a few words spoken with clarity can reset your entire state. When your thoughts start to spiral, you don't need to believe them. You can respond with a stronger voice, one that's rooted in who you're becoming, not who you were. This is not a one-time task. It's daily work. Self-talk is like a mental environment, and every day you either clean it up or let it get messy. If you ignore it, it fills with doubt and distraction. If you guide it, it becomes a space of clarity and drive. Speak to yourself like someone who matters. Don't wait for others to believe in you. Lead yourself first. There's a certain calm that comes when your inner voice becomes a source of stability. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing rejection, because the core of your belief doesn't come from outside anymore. It comes from your own mouth, your own thoughts, your own words. That stability is rare, and it's powerful. It makes you unshakable, not because you're never afraid, but because you've learned to speak strength into your fear. If you've spent years talking down to yourself, it will take time to unlearn that. But you can start today. You can begin by noticing your tone. You can start by changing one sentence. You can begin to build a relationship with yourself that is not based on guilt or shame, but on truth and discipline. No one else can do this for you. But once you take it seriously, everything changes. You move through life with a different energy. You stop hesitating. You start stepping into your moments with intention. And that changes how others see you too. Not because you're pretending, but because you've finally decided to back yourself. You have one mind, one voice that stays with you in every decision, every struggle, every breakthrough. That voice will either build you or break you, depending on how you use it. So make the choice. Speak with strength, speak with honesty, speak with belief, because you don't rise by chance. You rise by decision, and that decision starts inside. One thought at a time, one word at a time, one moment of clarity, spoken aloud in your own mind. That's the beginning of the life you were meant to live. Chapter 6. Surround yourself with people who push you higher. The people you keep close shape how far you go. Your environment is not just your location, it's your conversations, your influences, your standards. If you spend your time with people who don't aim for anything higher, you will slowly settle, not because you're weak, but because human nature adapts. If the people around you accept mediocrity, you start to believe it's normal. But if the people around you challenge you, support your growth, and hold themselves to a higher standard, it becomes almost impossible to stay the same. Growth becomes the expectation, not the exception. You don't need a crowd. You need alignment. One person who believes in your potential and doesn't let you stay in comfort is more valuable than 10 who let you stay stuck. Some people make you feel like you're already doing enough. Others make you realize you've only scratched the surface. The difference is in what they expect of you. The right people won't let you coast. They'll encourage your rest when needed, but won't support your excuses. They'll remind you of your goals when you drift. They won't criticize you for your flaws. They'll push you to rise above them. This isn't about finding perfect people. It's about choosing to walk with those who are moving forward. Everyone has flaws, but not everyone is trying to grow through them. Surrounding yourself with people who are committed to progress changes what feels normal. It shifts your standards. It forces you to rise to the level of the room you're in. And if you find yourself in rooms where you're always the most disciplined, the most focused, the most driven, you're in the wrong room. You outgrow environments that no longer reflect your values. That doesn't mean you're better than anyone. It just means you're moving in a direction they may not understand. Sometimes that shift is uncomfortable. You'll have to distance yourself from people you care about because their influence isn't helping you grow. That's hard, but it's necessary, because if you keep watering dead soil, you'll drain your energy without seeing anything grow. Your time and presence are valuable, and where you invest them matters. Growth isn't just about strategy, it's about who holds you accountable to the life you say you want. You need people who don't just listen to your goals, but challenge you to meet them. You need voices in your life that don't let you justify delay or avoid responsibility. That kind of accountability is rare, but it's what sharpens you. It's what keeps you honest. Most people won't confront you when you fall short. They'll comfort you. That's not support. Real support is someone looking you in the eye and saying, "You can do more than this, and I'm going to remind you until you do." There are people who drain you and people who stretch you. You'll feel the difference. After spending time with someone who stretches you, you'll feel motivated, focused, and clear. After spending time with someone who drains you, you'll feel scattered, heavy, and uncertain. Pay attention to that feeling. It's your internal compass pointing you toward better environments. You don't need to explain your path to everyone. You just need to protect your energy by choosing who you allow close. Not everyone will understand your drive. That's okay. You're not building your life for approval. You're building it for growth, peace, and purpose. Let people misunderstand your discipline. Let them question your focus. What matters is that you surround yourself with those who get it, those who don't need to be convinced, those who are on their own journey and want to see you win too. Mutual growth is powerful. It creates a bond built on purpose, not convenience. When the people around you are growing, it becomes easier to stay focused. Conversations change, habits improve, time gets used more intentionally. You don't feel alone in your discipline, you feel supported. You don't have to explain why you're choosing the harder path, they already understand. That kind of alignment makes the difficult seasons more bearable and the good seasons more fulfilling. Progress feels shared, and setbacks feel less heavy, because you're not carrying everything alone. Evaluate your circle without guilt. Ask yourself, who pushes me to be better, and who pulls me back into comfort? These questions aren't about judging others, they're about protecting your progress. If someone constantly dismisses your goals, minimizes your effort, or makes you feel foolish for wanting more, it's time to reevaluate their access to your time. You can love people from a distance and still choose to protect your energy. Not everyone deserves front-row access to your journey. Strong circles are built, not found. Be intentional. Seek out people who live with focus, who are disciplined, who stay consistent even when it's hard. Observe how they handle setbacks. Watch how they treat their commitments. Surround yourself with people who don't talk about dreams, they build them. These people will influence your pace, your mindset, and your belief in what's possible. If you don't have these people yet, become one. Raise your own standards first. The right people will notice. Leadership starts with self-respect. When you respect your time, your focus, your goals, you naturally gravitate toward others who do the same. That shared respect creates a foundation where growth can thrive. It removes the tension of trying to explain yourself. You no longer feel the need to defend your choices. You move in rooms where excellence is the expectation and mediocrity feels uncomfortable. That's when you grow without force, because growth becomes the standard. Keep people close who aren't impressed by comfort. Stay near those who ask hard questions and celebrate progress rooted in effort, not shortcuts. Let go of relationships that only exist in the version of you that you're leaving behind. Growth requires space. It requires clarity, and sometimes it requires walking alone for a while until you find those who match your direction. In the end, who you walk with shapes how you walk. It shapes how far you'll go and how strong you'll stay along the way. Be bold enough to leave what no longer fits. Be wise enough to seek what pulls the best out of you. You are not meant to grow in isolation, but you are also not meant to stay stuck in environments that keep you small. Choose growth. Choose clarity. Choose people who make you better, not by demanding perfection, but by expecting effort, by believing in your strength, and by reminding you of what you're capable of even when you forget. Chapter 7. Face discomfort daily to grow stronger and wiser. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is the test that shows you what you are made of. Every time you step into something that challenges you, even slightly, you give yourself a chance to grow. But if you keep choosing what feels easy and familiar, your potential stays locked away. Growth doesn't happen when you feel safe. It happens when you move through situations that make you nervous, unsure, or uncomfortable. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to be willing to try. The person who gets stronger over time is not the one who waits for the fear to disappear. It's the one who feels it and moves anyway. Fear isn't a signal to stop. It's a signal that you're stretching beyond what you've done before. Most people turn around at the first sign of tension. They mistake discomfort for danger. But there's a difference between what threatens your safety and what threatens your comfort. One should be avoided. The other should be welcomed. If you want to become mentally stronger, put yourself in situations that demand more than you're used to giving. That might mean waking up earlier, having a hard conversation, saying no when you usually say yes, showing up when you feel like hiding, or trying something you've always avoided. These aren't massive events, they're small daily choices that add up. Each time you choose discomfort over ease, you build internal strength that doesn't disappear when life gets tough. You don't need dramatic events to change your life. You need daily exposure to situations that ask more of you. That pressure doesn't crush you, it reveals what you haven't used yet. Most people never discover how much they can handle because they never test themselves. They avoid anything that makes them feel uncertain. But that uncertainty is the doorway to growth. If you only walk paths you already know, you'll only go places you've already been. The reason some people seem more confident, more focused, and more resilient isn't luck, it's repetition. They've trained themselves to handle what others avoid. They've faced rejection, made mistakes, been misunderstood, and kept going. They didn't avoid discomfort, they used it. They allowed failure to teach them, instead of shame them. That kind of strength is built, not born. And it's built by showing up daily and doing something hard, even when no one is watching. The discomfort you face today becomes the power you carry tomorrow. Every uncomfortable experience gives you wisdom. It teaches you something about who you are and what you're capable of. You learn how to stay calm when things are chaotic. You learn how to think clearly when emotions are high. You learn how to keep going even when you feel like stopping. None of that comes from comfort. It comes from stepping into places you once ran from. Your mind becomes sharper when it is challenged. Your spirit becomes tougher when it is tested. Your body becomes stronger when it is pushed. Growth is earned. It is not handed to you. You gain it by doing what others avoid. That's why progress often feels lonely. Most people won't walk the path of discomfort willingly. But you must. Not because it's fun, but because it's the only way to unlock your full capacity. There is no shortcut through growth. The path is uphill, but the strength you gain makes every step worth it. You must learn to sit with tension without trying to escape it, to feel fear and not let it decide for you. To enter moments of uncertainty without shrinking. Each time you do that, you become less dependent on comfort. You stop needing everything to be easy. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You start trusting yourself in the middle of the mess. That is what strength looks like. It's not perfection, it's presence. It's staying when everything in you wants to leave. Start with one thing daily that challenges you. That might be taking a cold shower, setting a difficult goal, being silent when you want to argue, or telling the truth when lying would be easier. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to prove to yourself that you can act in the face of resistance. The more often you do that, the more you change how you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who avoids difficulty. You begin to see yourself as someone who overcomes it. People often say they want to grow, but they resist the process that creates growth. They want confidence without rejection. They want strength without struggle. They want clarity without confusion. But it doesn't work that way. Discomfort is the soil where all those qualities grow. You can't plant seeds in soft ground and expect deep roots. You need pressure. You need friction. You need moments that force you to make a choice between staying the same or rising up. There's nothing noble in constantly seeking comfort. There is nothing empowering about avoiding anything that feels hard. If you want to respect yourself more, you need to do what you keep avoiding. You need to make decisions that scare you. You need to look at your patterns and break them. Growth feels unfamiliar. It often feels awkward. But the more you walk through it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, discomfort becomes your teacher, not your enemy. When you look back on the moments that shaped you, they were almost never easy. They were filled with doubt, mistakes, and risk. But they also gave you something no easy path could. They gave you depth. They gave you perspective. They gave you a strength that comfort never could. The only reason you fear discomfort now is because you haven't faced enough of it intentionally. Once you do, you'll see that it's not something to run from, it's something to grow through. You will never reach your potential by avoiding what's hard. The pain of discipline is far lighter than the pain of regret. The discomfort of growth is nothing compared to the weight of wondering what you could have been if you had just tried. Choose the discomfort now so you don't carry the burden of inaction later. Let today be the day you stop hiding from challenge and start seeking it on purpose. You don't need to be fearless, you just need to stop letting fear decide what you do. Every time you face discomfort, you send a message to yourself that you are strong enough to handle life as it comes, that you don't need everything to go your way to keep moving forward, that your strength is not situational, it is internal. You carry it with you. You build it every day, and it grows louder every time you act with courage instead of comfort. Keep showing up. Keep facing what's hard, and keep becoming the person who no longer waits for life to get easier because you've become stronger. Chapter 8. Reflect each night to learn from your day. Most people go to sleep without ever checking in with themselves. They end the day distracted, numbed, or overwhelmed, never stopping to consider what the day gave them or what it took away. But every day is a teacher. Every interaction, every choice, every mistake holds value if you're willing to look back and learn from it. Reflection isn't about overthinking, it's about understanding. It's about seeing yourself clearly so you can make better choices moving forward. If you keep rushing from one day to the next without slowing down, you'll keep repeating the same patterns without realizing it. Nighttime is not just a time to rest your body. It's also a time to reset your mind. And you do that by asking the right questions. What did I learn today? What challenged me? Where did I hold back? What moment made me proud? What did I do today that I don't want to repeat tomorrow? These questions aren't meant to make you feel guilty. They're meant to guide you back to awareness. Without reflection, you lose sight of your progress. You forget your growth. You miss the lessons that are right in front of you. There's a certain kind of power in silence at the end of the day. When everything slows down, when no one's asking for your attention, that's your opportunity to check in, not to judge yourself, but to understand what happened inside you. Did you speak from pressure or from clarity? Did you act from fear or from strength? Were your priorities aligned with your actions, or did you let distraction take control? These are questions that can't be answered in a rush. They require stillness, honesty, and time. Reflection gives meaning to your experiences. It connects the dots between what you do and who you're becoming. Without it, your days blur together. You forget why you started, what you're working toward, and whether your effort is moving you in the right direction. Even 5 minutes of intentional thought before bed can redirect your focus. It reminds you that your life is not just happening to you, you are shaping it. Every day is a step, and reflection helps you make sure you're stepping in the right direction. You don't need a fancy system, you don't need to write a novel every night. You just need the willingness to ask yourself real questions and listen without defensiveness. If something didn't go well today, own it. Not to shame yourself, but to learn how to do better. If something went right, celebrate it. Give yourself credit for the effort you made. We grow just as much from recognizing our wins as we do from acknowledging our missteps. Reflection is not about perfection, it's about perspective. The truth is, most people avoid this kind of nightly pause because they're afraid of what they might see. They don't want to admit they wasted time, missed opportunities, or fell into old habits. But growth begins the moment you stop running from yourself. The moment you say, "This is what I did, this is how I felt, and this is how I want to do it differently tomorrow." That kind of honest reflection is the foundation of change. Without it, you're just repeating the same day over and over, calling it a life. You can't fix what you won't face, and you can't improve what you won't measure. That's why reflection matters. It brings everything out into the open. It reveals the gaps between who you are and who you want to be. And once you see those gaps clearly, you can start closing them. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop blaming people. You take responsibility, not because everything is your fault, but because everything can teach you something if you let it. Think of your day as a mirror. It reflects back your habits, your mindset, your values, and your effort. Did you speak kindly to others? Did you show up with integrity? Did you avoid the hard things, or did you face them? These answers matter. They help you track your growth, not just in your work or your goals, but in your character. At the end of the day, how you treat people, how you handle pressure, how you respond to challenge, that's what defines you. And reflection helps you see whether you're living up to your own standards. If you don't take time to pause, you won't notice how far you've come. You won't realize that the things you once feared no longer scare you. You won't see that you handled something today with more patience or more courage than you would have a month ago. These small signs of progress often go unnoticed unless you intentionally look for them. And when you do, you build confidence, not by comparing yourself to others, but by measuring yourself against who you were yesterday. Make reflection a part of your routine, not a rare event. Don't wait for a crisis to check in with yourself. Don't wait for burnout to ask if something's off. Do it daily, and do it with compassion. You are a work in progress, not a finished product. And every day, you're given another chance to learn, adjust, and grow. But you can't grow if you don't pause to understand what your day taught you. The lesson is always there. You just have to look for it. Before you sleep, don't scroll. Don't distract. Sit with yourself. Think back on the conversations you had, the choices you made, the moments you avoided, the ones you leaned into. Ask yourself what those moments revealed about you. What did you learn about your discipline, your patience, your emotional control, your boundaries, your habits, and most importantly, what do you want to carry forward into tomorrow? You'll find that the more consistently you reflect, the more intentional your days become. You stop living on autopilot. You start noticing what adds to your life and what drains it. You stop giving your energy to things that don't matter. You become less reactive and more proactive. You begin each new day with clarity because you ended the last one with reflection. That's the cycle that builds growth. You don't need to change everything at once, but every night gives you a chance to change something. Maybe you want to spend less time complaining and more time acting. Maybe you want to start your day earlier, be more focused, or practice more gratitude. These changes don't start in the morning. They start at night when you take responsibility for your day and set a clear intention for the next one. That's how you build momentum. Not through giant steps, but through steady awareness. Reflection is not a punishment. It's a gift. A chance to understand yourself, to connect with your purpose, and to prepare for a better tomorrow. And the more you do it, the more you grow. Not just in your results, but in your character. You become someone who learns from life, not someone who just goes through it. That's how you turn each day into progress. That's how you create a life you're proud of, one honest, intentional night at a time. Chapter 9. Challenge your thoughts to unlock better decisions. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your decisions. Every choice you make leads you closer to who you will become. But few people realize how much their thoughts shape those decisions. Thoughts are powerful. They can create momentum or cause stagnation. They can fuel confidence or breed doubt. They can clarify your path or cloud your judgment. To unlock better decisions, you must first learn to challenge your thoughts. Accepting every thought as truth limits your growth and traps you in old patterns. But when you question your thinking, you open the door to clearer insight and stronger choices. Challenging your thoughts starts with awareness. Most people move through their day on autopilot, letting thoughts rise and fall without examination. They hear the inner voice but never ask if what it says is true or helpful. This passivity keeps you stuck in loops of fear, insecurity, and hesitation. But the moment you become curious about your own mind, you gain power. You stop being a prisoner to your impulses and become a thoughtful observer. You begin to separate facts from feelings, reality from assumptions. That separation is the first step toward making better decisions. Not every thought deserves your trust. Some thoughts are simply echoes of past failures, fears, or outside opinions. They often sound convincing because they've been repeated so many times, yet they rarely serve your growth. When you catch a thought like "I'm not good enough" or "this will never work," pause and question it. Ask yourself, is this true? What evidence do I have? What would I say to a friend thinking this? Challenging your thoughts doesn't mean ignoring difficult feelings. It means seeing them clearly and deciding how much weight to give them. Once you start questioning your thoughts, you'll notice how many are automatic reactions rather than conscious judgments. You'll find moments when your mind jumps to conclusions without full information. You'll recognize when you interpret events through a lens of negativity or doubt. Awareness lets you break these patterns. You can stop accepting your first instinct as the final word. Instead, you can gather more information, consider alternative perspectives, and choose responses that align with your goals and values. Challenging thoughts also sharpens your problem-solving skills. When you face a decision, your mind might offer simple answers that feel safe but don't move you forward. These answers are often rooted in avoidance or fear. By questioning your initial reactions, you open space for creative solutions. You start to see options you hadn't noticed before. You begin to think critically instead of reactively. This mental flexibility is essential for adapting to challenges and making progress in any area of life. Your emotions are important signals, but not always reliable decision makers. They provide information about what matters to you, but can also distort reality. When you feel overwhelmed, angry, or anxious, your thoughts tend to exaggerate risks or focus on worst-case scenarios. Challenging these thoughts allows you to separate emotional reactions from facts. It gives you the chance to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. When you respond instead of react, your decisions become more effective and less likely to lead to regret. This process requires discipline. It won't happen automatically, especially if you've been conditioned to accept every thought as fact. You have to practice catching your thoughts in real time and pausing before you act on them. It helps to slow down, breathe, and ask yourself clarifying questions. For example, if you think, "I can't handle this," you might ask, "Have I handled difficult situations before? What resources do I have now? What small step can I take to move forward?" These questions weaken the grip of negative thinking and strengthen your sense of control. Journaling is a useful tool for challenging thoughts. Writing your thoughts down gives you a clearer picture of your mental patterns. It helps you identify recurring doubts or beliefs that limit you. When you see these thoughts on paper, you can confront them more easily. You can evaluate whether they're helpful or harmful. You can track how your thinking shifts over time as you practice questioning and changing your internal dialogue. This ongoing process rewires your brain for better decision-making. It's important to surround yourself with people who encourage critical thinking. Conversations with trusted mentors or peers who challenge your assumptions can accelerate your growth. They provide feedback and alternative viewpoints you might not consider on your own, but ultimately the responsibility lies with you. No one else can monitor your thoughts or make your decisions. Building mental strength means becoming your own best critic and supporter simultaneously. It means holding yourself accountable to higher standards of thinking. When you challenge your thoughts, you develop greater confidence, not because your mind becomes free of doubt, but because you learn how to manage it. You realize that thoughts are just thoughts, not absolute truths. You gain the ability to decide which thoughts serve you and which hold you back. That freedom makes your decisions clearer and more aligned with your authentic self. It reduces hesitation and second-guessing. It creates momentum that propels you forward with purpose. The habit of questioning thoughts also protects you from external influences that cloud your judgment. In a world full of noise, opinions, and pressure, it's easy to adopt ideas that don't belong to you. Challenging your thoughts means filtering what you take in. It means choosing beliefs based on your experience and values, not on what's popular or expected. This mental clarity creates resilience. You stay grounded amid uncertainty because your decisions come from a place of personal truth, not external validation. Remember that challenging your thoughts is not about eliminating all negative thinking. It's about creating balance. It's about not letting fear or doubt dominate your mind unchecked. It's about inviting evidence, reason, and alternative perspectives to participate in your mental dialogue. This balance allows you to face risks realistically without being paralyzed by worry. It encourages growth by testing assumptions rather than accepting them blindly. It builds wisdom through intentional reflection. The better your thinking, the better your decisions. And better decisions lead to better outcomes. You don't need perfect clarity to act. You need clearer thinking than you had yesterday. You need a mind trained to question, analyze, and choose. This skill is not innate. It's developed through practice and patience. Every time you challenge a limiting thought, you take one step closer to becoming the decision maker you want to be. You move from reacting to creating. You take control of your life one thought at a time. Start now by paying attention to your internal dialogue. When you notice a thought that triggers fear, doubt, or hesitation, don't accept it immediately. Pause and ask, is this true? What's another way to see this? What evidence supports or contradicts this? Practice this regularly. The more you do, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you'll notice your decisions improving because you're no longer controlled by unexamined thoughts. Instead, you're guided by a mind trained to seek truth and act with intention. This shift changes everything. You'll find yourself making clearer choices under pressure. You'll handle setbacks with more calm and creativity. You'll stop reacting emotionally to every challenge and start responding strategically. Your life will become a reflection of deliberate thinking instead of impulsive reactions. This is the key to unlocking better decisions and building a future defined by your own terms. It starts with one thought challenged, questioned, and redirected toward your highest good. Chapter 10. Take responsibility for everything in your control now. Taking responsibility for everything within your control is the foundation of personal power. It's the moment you stop waiting for others to change or circumstances to improve before you act. It means recognizing that no matter what happens around you, your response is your choice alone. Responsibility is not about blame or guilt. It's about ownership. Owning your actions, your decisions, your thoughts, and your emotions. When you fully accept what you can control, you free yourself from the paralysis of waiting and start moving forward with clarity and strength. Most people want control without responsibility. They want to influence outcomes without doing the work. But real growth demands a clear-eyed look at what you're accountable for. This includes your habits, your mindset, how you communicate, and the effort you put in daily. It's easy to blame others for your challenges, but that mindset traps you in victimhood. When you shift to responsibility, you reclaim your power to change. You stop being a passenger in your own life and become the driver. This shift is not a one-time decision, but a daily practice. Taking responsibility starts with awareness. It requires you to notice where you've been avoiding accountability. That might look like blaming others for your failures, ignoring your role in conflicts, or denying your contribution to unhealthy patterns. Awareness shines light on these blind spots. Once you see them clearly, you can begin to address them. This process demands courage, because it often means admitting uncomfortable truths about yourself. But it's necessary for growth. Without honesty, change is impossible. It also means accepting that you cannot control everything. There are external events, other people's choices, and random circumstances that you have no power over. The difference is that your power lies in how you respond to these uncontrollable factors. You can choose to react with anger, resentment, or passivity, or you can choose to respond with clarity, calm, and action. Responsibility means focusing your energy on what you can influence instead of wasting it on what you can't. This focus builds resilience and prevents overwhelm. When you take full ownership, you stop waiting for permission to improve. You stop making excuses for delay. You stop blaming the past or your environment for your current situation. Instead, you take the first step, even if it's small. Every choice you make becomes a declaration of your commitment to growth. This commitment creates momentum. It builds a cycle where action fuels confidence, and confidence fuels more action. Responsibility is the engine behind that cycle. One of the most powerful aspects of responsibility is how it shifts your mindset from victim to creator. Victims see themselves as powerless and at the mercy of life's events. Creators recognize their ability to shape their reality through consistent effort and intentional choices. This perspective changes everything. It transforms obstacles into opportunities. It replaces frustration with focus. It turns setbacks into lessons. When you take responsibility, you empower yourself to build the life you want rather than hoping for it to appear. Responsibility also requires discipline. It means holding yourself accountable to the standards you set, even when no one is watching. It means following through on your promises to yourself. It means choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. This kind of discipline isn't about perfection. It's about showing up and doing the work, day after day. It's about learning from mistakes without making excuses. The people who succeed are not those who never fail, but those who never stop taking responsibility for their journey. Taking responsibility affects every area of your life. It changes how you manage your time, how you handle relationships, how you approach challenges, and how you pursue your goals. It forces you to examine where you've been passive or reactive and to replace those habits with intentionality and ownership. This process creates clarity because you stop blaming external forces and start focusing on internal solutions. Clarity leads to better decisions, which lead to better results. It's important to remember that responsibility is not about carrying the weight of the world alone. It's about recognizing your role in the parts you can influence and taking action within those boundaries. You don't have to fix everything, you don't have to control every outcome, but you do have to be honest about what you can control and take charge of it. This honesty brings peace because it replaces confusion and helplessness with purposeful effort. Taking responsibility also deepens your self-respect. When you own your actions and their consequences, you build integrity. You stop living in contradiction between what you say you want and what you actually do. That alignment between intention and behavior strengthens your character. It earns you trust from yourself and from others. Integrity is the foundation of lasting success because it creates a consistent and reliable version of yourself that others can count on. The journey of responsibility is not always easy. It challenges your ego, your fears, and your comfort zones. It forces you to face mistakes and failures without denial, but it also offers freedom. Freedom from blaming others for your life's direction. Freedom from waiting for outside circumstances to improve. Freedom from excuses that keep you stuck. When you take responsibility, you reclaim your power to create meaningful change and become the author of your story. Begin today by identifying one area where you've been avoiding responsibility. It might be procrastination, unhealthy habits, or unresolved conflicts. Acknowledge it without judgment. Then commit to taking one concrete action within your control. It could be setting a boundary, making a plan, or choosing a different response. This small step signals to your mind and body that you're ready to own your life. Each step builds confidence and makes the next one easier. Remember that responsibility is a muscle that strengthens with use. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. You'll start to notice how taking charge of your actions and decisions creates positive ripple effects throughout your life. You'll experience more control, less stress, and greater satisfaction. You'll realize that responsibility is not a burden, but a privilege, the key to unlocking your full potential and living with purpose. No matter where you are now, you have the power to take responsibility for what is within your reach. That power can transform frustration into focus, confusion into clarity, and dreams into reality. The moment you decide to take responsibility, you step into your strength. You choose progress over comfort, action over waiting, and growth over stagnation. Your life changes the moment you own your role in it. The question is not if you can take responsibility, but will you choose to do it now? Chapter 11. Train your mind to focus on what matters. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but it often gets pulled in many directions at once. Training your mind to focus on what truly matters is the difference between drifting through life and moving with purpose. Focus is not just about attention. It's about choice. It's deciding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. When your mind is trained to filter out noise and distractions, you gain clarity and power. You can direct your effort toward meaningful goals instead of wasting time on trivial matters. This ability transforms how you live, work, and grow. Many people suffer from scattered thinking because they never develop the habit of focusing intentionally. They react to every notification, every urge, and every passing thought. This reactive mode fragments their energy and lowers productivity. The first step to training your mind is to recognize that focus is a skill, not a natural state. It requires practice, discipline, and patience. You have to build mental muscles just like you build physical ones. And just as you wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training, you can't expect to keep focus without consistent effort. To strengthen focus, start by identifying your priorities. What really matters to you? What goals align with your values and vision? When your mind is clear on these, it becomes easier to dismiss distractions. Without clear priorities, your attention becomes a ping-pong ball bouncing between tasks and interruptions. Prioritization gives your mind a purpose. It acts as a compass that guides your attention. Every time you feel pulled away, remind yourself of your top priorities. This mental anchor keeps you grounded and steady. Another powerful way to train your mind is to practice single tasking. Multitasking is a myth that damages your ability to focus deeply. When you switch rapidly between tasks, your brain has to reset, losing efficiency each time. This constant shifting fragments your thoughts and reduces the quality of your work. Choosing to focus on one task at a time strengthens your concentration and helps you enter a state of flow. Flow is when your mind is fully absorbed and performing at its best. Achieving flow is the goal of training focus. Setting boundaries is crucial. Your environment affects your ability to concentrate. If you allow constant interruptions from phones, social media, or noisy spaces, your mind will struggle to settle. Create conditions that support focus. Turn off unnecessary notifications, set specific times to check emails, and choose quiet spaces when possible. These practical steps reduce distractions so your mind can rest and engage deeply with important tasks. Discipline in protecting your attention is a form of respect for yourself and your goals. Mindfulness techniques also improve focus. Mindfulness trains your brain to observe thoughts without getting lost in them. It teaches you how to bring your attention back when it wanders. A simple daily practice of focusing on your breath for a few minutes strengthens your mental control. Over time, this skill transfers to daily life, helping you stay present and attentive even in chaotic situations. Mindfulness creates a mental space where you can choose where to place your focus instead of being controlled by impulses. It's important to be patient with yourself during this process. The mind is naturally inclined toward distraction. It craves novelty and stimulation. When you begin training focus, you'll notice how often your thoughts drift. That's normal. What matters is that you gently bring your attention back each time. This repetition rewires your brain and increases your mental stamina. You become less reactive to interruptions and more committed to sustained concentration. Like any skill, focus improves with time and consistent effort. Recognize that not all distractions are equal. Some pull you away from your goals, while others provide necessary breaks and rest. Balance focus with periods of relaxation. Overworking your mind leads to burnout and decreased productivity. Schedule intentional breaks where your mind can reset. Use those moments to step away, breathe, or engage in a different activity. Returning to your work after a break with a refreshed mind increases efficiency and creativity. Focus isn't about endless work, it's about smart work. Your thoughts influence your ability to focus. Negative or chaotic thinking scatters attention. Training your mind includes managing these internal distractions. When you notice worries, doubts, or stress pulling you away, acknowledge them without judgment and then redirect your attention. This practice strengthens mental clarity. It prevents internal chatter from hijacking your concentration. A clear mind can assess situations better and make decisions aligned with what matters most. Building routines enhances focus. When you develop habits around your most important activities, your mind knows what to expect and when to engage deeply. A consistent schedule reduces decision fatigue and increases mental energy. Design your day to include blocks of uninterrupted time dedicated to high-value tasks. Over time, these routines become automatic, requiring less mental effort to stay focused. Structure supports discipline, and discipline sustains focus. You also must guard your mental energy by saying no to distractions that don't align with your goals. It's easy to get pulled into endless streams of information, entertainment, or social engagements that don't serve your purpose. Learning to say no protects your focus. It creates space for what truly matters. This requires self-awareness and courage to choose long-term success over short-term pleasure. Every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to growth. Celebrate progress in your ability to focus. Notice when you complete tasks without being pulled away. Recognize moments when your mind stays calm despite external chaos. These small victories build confidence and reinforce your commitment. Training focus is a journey, not a destination. It fluctuates day to day, but improves overall with consistent practice. Remind yourself that each moment of focus is a step toward the life you want to build. Ultimately, training your mind to focus on what matters is a form of self-respect. It's choosing to honor your time, your energy, and your potential. It's refusing to let your life slip away in distraction. When your mind is focused, your actions become more intentional, your results more meaningful, and your satisfaction deeper. You take control of your story instead of letting random thoughts or external chaos write it for you. This mental training is one of the most valuable investments you can make in yourself. Begin today by selecting one priority to focus on intensely for a set period. Turn off distractions, commit your full attention, and notice the difference in your productivity and peace of mind. Practice this regularly, increasing the duration as your mental stamina grows. With time, this skill will transform how you live, work, and grow. Your mind is your most important asset. Train it well and watch everything else fall into place. Chapter 12. Protect your time like it shapes your future. Time is the most valuable resource you have because it's the one thing you cannot get back. Once a moment passes, it's gone forever. Protecting your time means protecting your future because how you spend your days builds the life you will live tomorrow. Every decision you make about time shapes the trajectory of your goals, relationships, and growth. Treating time with respect is not just about scheduling, it's about understanding that each hour carries potential. How you guard that potential determines whether you move closer to success or drift into distraction. Too often, people treat time like it's unlimited or easily replaced. They allow interruptions, procrastination, and busy work to fill their day without clear intention. This lack of protection leads to wasted opportunities and accumulated regret. When you fail to protect your time, you give away pieces of your future to things that don't matter. Protecting time is an act of discipline and self-respect. It requires setting clear boundaries and saying no to what steals your focus and energy. Start by recognizing what steals your time daily. Identify activities, habits, or people that drain your attention or pull you away from priorities. This could be excessive social media scrolling, unproductive meetings, or constant interruptions. Awareness of these time wasters is the first step to protecting your schedule. Once you know where your time leaks are, you can begin to take action to stop them. You cannot manage what you don't measure, and time management starts with tracking your actual use. Learn to say no without guilt. Every yes to one thing is a no to something else, usually your most important goals. Saying no to distractions is essential for creating space for growth. It means declining invitations or requests that don't align with your priorities. It means resisting the urge to respond immediately to every notification or demand. Saying no protects your mental bandwidth and preserves your energy for what truly matters. This practice builds momentum toward your vision. Create protected blocks of time dedicated to your highest priorities. Treat these blocks as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. When you schedule focused work sessions, you signal to your mind and others that your time is valuable. Use these blocks to advance meaningful projects or personal growth activities. Avoid multitasking during these times. Instead, immerse yourself fully in the task. This focused investment of time compounds into significant progress over weeks and months. Guard your time by creating clear boundaries with others. Communicate your availability and limits respectfully but firmly. Let people know when you are not to be disturbed unless it's urgent. This boundary protects you from unexpected interruptions that break concentration. People who respect your time will understand and appreciate your commitment to your goals. If someone consistently disregards your boundaries, reconsider how much time and energy you give them. Use routines to build predictability and reduce wasted time deciding what to do next. When your day has structure, your mind spends less energy on choices and more on action. Routines create habits that protect your time automatically. For example, a morning routine can ensure your first hour is dedicated to your most important work rather than reactive tasks. Ending your day with a reflection routine helps you plan and protect time for the next day. These rituals support consistent progress. Be mindful of how much time you spend on urgent but unimportant tasks. Urgency can create a false sense of priority, causing you to neglect what's truly important. Learn to differentiate between urgent distractions and meaningful actions. Prioritize tasks that move you toward your long-term goals, even if they don't feel urgent. This focus prevents burnout caused by reacting constantly to external demands instead of leading your own schedule. Protecting your time also means taking care of your energy and well-being. Time spent on rest, exercise, and mental recovery is not wasted. It replenishes your capacity to focus and perform at your best. Scheduling breaks and downtime within your day enhances your productivity and creativity. Recognize that overworking without rest leads to diminishing returns. Protect your future by balancing effort with recovery. Use technology intentionally to support your time protection, not sabotage it. Tools like calendars, timers, and task managers can help organize and guard your schedule. However, constant notifications and unchecked screen time often erode your focus. Turn off non-essential alerts. Use apps that block distracting sites during work periods, and schedule times to check messages instead of responding instantly. Control your technology use rather than letting it control you. Track your time regularly to stay honest about how you spend it. Keeping a simple log of daily activities reveals patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. It exposes where you lose time to distraction or low-value tasks. This data empowers you to make adjustments and reclaim lost hours. Reviewing your time use weekly helps you refine your habits and improve your protection strategies. Remember that protecting your time is a long-term commitment. It's not a one-time fix, but a daily practice. Challenges and distractions will always arise, but your ability to defend your time grows with experience. Each choice to guard your hours reinforces your dedication to your future. Over time, this commitment creates a compound effect that shapes your life profoundly. Valuing your time means valuing yourself. When you protect your time, you send a clear message to yourself and others about your worth. You show up with integrity and purpose. You create the conditions necessary for success rather than hoping for luck or motivation to appear. Protecting time is an act of empowerment that fuels progress in every area of life. Begin today by identifying one small change to better protect your time. It could be setting a clear end time for work, turning off notifications during focus blocks, or saying no to a non-essential commitment. Implement this change with intention and observe the impact. Build on these small wins consistently. Protecting your time is the key to unlocking your potential and creating a future shaped by your own choices. Chapter 13. Move your body every day to build discipline. Discipline is the backbone of success, and moving your body every day is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to build it. Physical activity is not just about fitness or appearance. It's a daily practice that strengthens your mind, enhances your willpower, and anchors your routine. When you commit to moving your body consistently, you train yourself to show up even when motivation fades. This daily discipline creates momentum that spills over into every area of your life, from work to relationships and personal growth. Movement activates more than muscles. It awakens your mental focus and emotional resilience. The habit of regular exercise teaches you how to start, how to push through discomfort, and how to finish what you begin. These lessons translate directly to building discipline because discipline means doing what's necessary, not just what's easy or pleasant. Moving your body daily reminds you that effort yields results. It rewires your brain to associate action with accomplishment, strengthening the neural pathways that govern self-control. The form of movement doesn't have to be intense or complicated. Discipline builds through consistent, manageable action. A short walk, stretching, yoga, or simple bodyweight exercises all contribute. The key is consistency and intention. Setting a daily goal to move, regardless of how you feel, builds a ritual. This ritual becomes a non-negotiable part of your day. When you discipline yourself to move, you prove to yourself that you can commit and persevere. This small win fuels confidence and discipline in other tasks. Movement also improves your energy levels and mental clarity. Physical activity increases blood flow and releases endorphins, which elevate mood and reduce stress. When your body is active, your mind sharpens, making it easier to focus on tasks and resist distractions. This connection between body and mind demonstrates how discipline in one area strengthens overall self-mastery. Moving daily supports emotional balance, helping you face challenges with greater calm and resolve. Daily movement builds resilience by teaching you to embrace discomfort. Exercise naturally involves pushing past fatigue, soreness, or reluctance. This experience trains your mind to tolerate discomfort without giving up. Discipline requires this tolerance because personal growth often involves facing difficulties head-on. Each time you choose to move despite resistance, you strengthen your capacity to handle adversity. This resilience is a vital component of long-term success. Setting realistic and progressive goals for movement supports sustainable discipline. Start with achievable targets, such as 5 to 10 minutes of activity daily, and gradually increase intensity or duration. This approach prevents burnout and discouragement. Achieving small milestones reinforces your commitment and motivates you to keep going. Consistent progress, even if slow, beats sporadic bursts of intense activity, followed by inactivity. Discipline grows steadily when fed by small daily actions. Creating accountability helps sustain your movement habit. Share your goals with a friend, join a group, or track your progress publicly. External accountability increases your likelihood of following through because it adds social motivation. Knowing someone else is aware of your commitment strengthens your resolve. Accountability also provides encouragement and feedback, making the journey more engaging. When discipline is supported by community, it becomes easier to maintain. Movement rituals anchor your day and create structure. Choose specific times that fit your lifestyle and stick to them. Morning movement energizes you for the day ahead, while evening routines help release tension accumulated throughout the day. Consistency in timing signals your body and mind to expect activity, creating habit loops that automate discipline. This predictability reduces decision fatigue and supports mental clarity. Be mindful of your body's signals to avoid injury or burnout. Discipline is not about pushing recklessly, but about respecting your limits while challenging yourself. Listening to your body ensures longevity in your practice. Adjust intensity or rest when needed, then return to movement with renewed commitment. This balance between effort and recovery teaches self-awareness and self-care, which are essential to sustainable discipline. Celebrate progress and effort, not just outcomes. Recognize the value of showing up every day regardless of how far you move or how fast you go. This mindset fosters a positive relationship with discipline and movement. When you focus on effort, you reduce the pressure of perfection and increase your motivation. Discipline is about persistence over perfection. Every day you move, you reaffirm your ability to commit and improve. Movement also sharpens your sense of control. When life feels unpredictable, the choice to move daily is a constant you can rely on. This consistency builds confidence in your ability to influence your own well-being and success. Taking charge of your physical habits empowers you to take charge in other areas of life. Discipline in movement becomes a symbol of your broader capacity for self-mastery. Incorporate variety to keep movement engaging and prevent boredom. Experiment with different activities like walking, swimming, dancing, or strength training. Variety challenges your body and mind in new ways, increasing your overall fitness and enjoyment. Enjoyment strengthens discipline because it motivates you to return. Finding pleasure in movement transforms it from a chore into a rewarding practice. Use movement as a moment of mindfulness. Focus on your breath, posture, and sensations during activity. This presence deepens the connection between body and mind, reducing mental clutter and increasing clarity. Mindful movement supports emotional regulation and stress reduction, enhancing your overall capacity for discipline. Integrating mindfulness into movement enriches the experience and its benefits. Remember that discipline developed through movement is transferable. The self-control, focus, and perseverance you build extend into your work habits, relationships, and personal goals. Moving your body daily becomes a foundation for a disciplined life. It proves that consistent effort is possible and worthwhile. This realization fuels motivation to maintain discipline across all areas. Start today by committing to a simple movement routine that fits your current level. Choose an activity you can do daily, set a realistic time, and honor that commitment. Track your progress and notice how daily movement affects your energy, mood, and discipline. Build from there, increasing intensity and duration as you grow stronger. Each day you move, you reinforce your identity as someone who honors their commitments and cultivates discipline. In the end, moving your body every day is a declaration that you are serious about growth. It's a tangible way to prove to yourself that you can prioritize your health, your mind, and your goals. This daily practice strengthens your willpower and prepares you to face life's challenges with resilience. Discipline built through movement empowers you to become the person capable of achieving lasting success. Chapter 14. Learn something new that expands your thinking daily. Expanding your thinking is essential for personal growth and success. Learning something new every day keeps your mind sharp, opens up new possibilities, and challenges your existing beliefs. It creates a mindset of curiosity and adaptability, which are key ingredients for resilience and innovation. Committing to daily learning is a practice that enriches your life, broadens your perspective, and fuels continuous improvement. The process of learning is not limited to formal education or complex subjects. It can be as simple as reading an article, listening to a podcast, watching an informative video, or having a thoughtful conversation. The key is consistency and intentionality. Making learning a daily habit ensures that your mind remains active and engaged. This habit counters stagnation and complacency, which are obstacles to progress. Learning new things stretches your mental boundaries. It challenges the automatic patterns of thinking you might fall into. When you encounter unfamiliar ideas or skills, your brain creates new connections and pathways. This neuroplasticity enhances creativity and problem-solving ability. The more you expose yourself to diverse information, the more flexible and innovative your thinking becomes. This adaptability is critical in a world that is constantly changing. Expanding your thinking also involves questioning your assumptions. Learning new perspectives invites you to reconsider beliefs that may limit your potential. It encourages open-mindedness and humility, recognizing that no one has all the answers. This attitude fosters growth because it allows you to evolve rather than remain stuck in outdated mindsets. Challenging your own thinking builds intellectual courage and deeper understanding. Daily learning develops confidence by increasing your knowledge base. When you know more, you feel more capable of handling challenges and making informed decisions. This confidence reduces fear and hesitation. It empowers you to take risks and seize opportunities. Knowledge is not just power, it's a foundation for action. Each new piece of information adds to your toolkit for navigating life's complexities. Incorporate diverse sources of learning to enrich your experience. Explore different fields such as science, history, psychology, art, or practical skills. Cross-disciplinary learning sparks creativity by connecting seemingly unrelated ideas. It broadens your understanding of the world and your place within it. Exposure to various viewpoints deepens empathy and cultural awareness, enhancing your ability to relate to others and collaborate effectively. Set achievable daily learning goals. This might mean dedicating 15 minutes to reading, watching a tutorial, or practicing a new skill. Breaking learning into manageable chunks prevents overwhelm and promotes sustainability. Consistency beats intensity when it comes to building habits. Small daily steps accumulate into significant knowledge growth over time. Apply what you learn immediately. Knowledge without action has limited value. Using new information in your daily life solidifies your understanding and reveals its practical impact. This application might involve adjusting your behavior, solving a problem differently, or sharing insights with others. Acting on new learning transforms abstract ideas into real progress and reinforces your commitment to growth. Reflection enhances learning by helping you process and integrate new information. Take moments to think about what you've learned and how it relates to your goals and experiences. Reflecting on learning deepens comprehension and reveals connections you might have missed. It also helps you identify gaps in understanding that require further exploration. This active engagement with knowledge turns passive intake into meaningful growth. Be curious and ask questions regularly. Curiosity drives the desire to learn and discover. When you approach life with genuine interest, you naturally seek out new knowledge. Asking questions challenges complacency and sparks investigation. It pushes you beyond surface-level understanding to deeper insights. Cultivating curiosity keeps learning exciting and fulfilling. Avoid information overload by focusing on quality rather than quantity. In today's digital age, it's easy to consume excessive amounts of content without depth. Choose sources that are reliable, relevant, and aligned with your learning goals. This selectivity ensures that your time and mental energy are well spent. Thoughtful learning produces better results than mindless consumption. Embrace mistakes and failures as part of the learning process. Trying new things inevitably involves setbacks. Instead of viewing errors as discouragements, see them as feedback and opportunities to improve. This mindset reduces fear and encourages experimentation. Learning thrives in an environment where it's safe to fail and grow. Resilience in the face of failure strengthens your ability to keep expanding your thinking. Surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge your intellect. Engaging in discussions with others who have different perspectives enriches your learning. It forces you to articulate your ideas clearly and consider alternative viewpoints. This social aspect of learning builds critical thinking and communication skills. Collaboration and dialogue are powerful catalysts for intellectual expansion. Keep a journal to document your daily learning experiences. Writing down new insights, questions, and reflections creates a personal record of growth. Reviewing your journal over time reveals patterns and progress. It also deepens your understanding by forcing you to organize and clarify your thoughts. This practice transforms learning from a fleeting activity into a lasting transformation. Celebrate your curiosity and the joy of discovery. Learning should be a source of excitement and fulfillment. Recognize the pleasure in acquiring new skills, understanding complex concepts, or seeing the world differently. This positive association strengthens your motivation to continue learning. Enjoyment fuels discipline, making the habit easier to maintain. Make learning a priority by scheduling it into your day. Treat it as an essential appointment rather than an optional activity. Consistent timing creates routine and accountability. Whether early morning, lunch break, or evening, regularity embeds learning into your lifestyle. Prioritizing learning signals your commitment to self-improvement and long-term success. Recognize that expanding your thinking is a lifelong journey. There is no end point or finish line. Every day offers an opportunity to grow, adapt, and evolve. This mindset shifts your focus from seeking quick fixes to embracing continuous improvement. Lifelong learning keeps you relevant and prepared for the uncertainties ahead. Balance learning with rest to optimize absorption and prevent burnout. Your brain needs downtime to process and consolidate new information. Sleep, relaxation, and breaks support memory and creativity. Overloading your mind with constant input can reduce effectiveness. Respecting your mental limits enhances the quality of your learning experience. Focus on learning that aligns with your goals and values. Purpose-driven learning is more motivating and impactful. It connects new knowledge to meaningful outcomes. This alignment increases your engagement and persistence. When you see the relevance of what you learn, you are more likely to apply it and benefit from it. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone intellectually. Explore topics or skills that seem difficult or unfamiliar. This challenge stimulates growth and builds confidence. Facing intellectual discomfort is similar to physical training. It strengthens your mental endurance. The more you confront uncertainty and complexity, the more capable you become. Keep an open mind and embrace uncertainty. Learning often involves questioning what you thought was true. It requires flexibility and willingness to change your mind. This openness is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Being comfortable with ambiguity allows you to adapt to new information and situations effectively. Commit to learning every day and watch how your thinking expands, your confidence grows, and your life transforms. Each new idea or skill adds to your ability to navigate challenges and seize opportunities. The habit of daily learning is an investment in your future self. It empowers you to live intentionally, creatively, and resiliently in a complex world. Chapter 15. Say no to anything that weakens your energy. Your energy is your most precious resource because it powers everything you do. Without it, even the simplest tasks become overwhelming, and your ability to pursue goals diminishes. Saying no to anything that weakens your energy is a powerful act of self-care and discipline. It means recognizing what drains you physically, mentally, or emotionally, and setting boundaries to protect your vitality. This practice enables you to focus your strength on what truly matters and move forward with clarity and resilience. Many people are unaware of how much energy they lose to unnecessary commitments, toxic relationships, or unhealthy habits. Energy drains come in many forms, including negative thoughts, stressful environments, and constant multitasking. Identifying these drains is the first step toward reclaiming your power. When you become aware of what saps your energy, you gain the ability to take control and make conscious choices. Protecting your energy requires honesty and courage to say no, even when it feels uncomfortable. Saying no is not about being selfish. It's about being wise. It's impossible to give your best to everything if you spread yourself too thin. When you say no to energy-draining activities or people, you create space to invest in your health, goals, and well-being. This clarity allows you to operate from a place of strength rather than depletion. Boundaries are a form of respect for yourself and others because they establish clear expectations and preserve your capacity to contribute meaningfully. Learn to recognize early signs of energy depletion. These might include fatigue, irritability, lack of focus, or a sense of overwhelm. Ignoring these signals leads to burnout and decreased effectiveness. Paying attention to your body and mind's feedback helps you catch drains before they become severe. Responding promptly by saying no or stepping back preserves your energy and prevents long-term damage. Practice assertiveness in communicating your boundaries. Saying no clearly and calmly, without over-explaining, sends a strong message. You do not owe anyone extensive justification for protecting your energy. Being direct reduces misunderstandings and reinforces your commitment to self-care. Over time, this assertiveness builds confidence and reduces the guilt often associated with declining requests. Evaluate your commitments regularly. Not all obligations deserve your time and energy. Assess which activities align with your values and goals, and which do not. Let go of non-essential tasks or engagements that leave you drained. This evaluation requires ongoing attention because circumstances and priorities change. Regularly pruning your commitments ensures your energy is directed toward what truly matters. Avoid toxic relationships that drain your emotional energy. Negative people who criticize, complain, or create drama consume your mental bandwidth and undermine your well-being. Limit interactions with such individuals or remove them from your life if possible. Surround yourself instead with supportive and uplifting people who energize and inspire you. Healthy relationships replenish your spirit and enhance your capacity to grow. Be mindful of how you use technology and media. Constant exposure to negative news, social media comparison, or endless notifications can drain your mental energy. Set limits on screen time and curate your information sources carefully. Choose content that educates, inspires, or relaxes you rather than that which stresses or distracts. Technology should serve your goals, not undermine your energy. Create daily rituals that restore your energy. These might include exercise, meditation, proper nutrition, or quality sleep. Prioritizing these practices builds a foundation of resilience. When your body and mind are well cared for, you can better withstand energy drains. Energy protection is not just about saying no, but also about saying yes to replenishment and restoration. Learn to delegate tasks when possible. Trying to do everything yourself can deplete your energy rapidly. Sharing responsibilities lightens your load and creates balance. Delegation requires trust and letting go of control, which can be challenging but ultimately empowering. Focus on activities where your energy has the greatest impact and delegate or eliminate the rest. Avoid overcommitting out of obligation or fear of disappointing others. This pattern often leads to resentment and exhaustion. Remember that your well-being is essential for sustained contribution. Saying no allows you to maintain your effectiveness and presence in important areas of life. Prioritize your needs without guilt to sustain long-term success. Practice mindfulness to stay connected to your energy levels throughout the day. Regular check-ins help you notice when energy dips and what might be causing them. This awareness enables timely adjustments, such as taking breaks or shifting focus. Mindfulness increases your ability to protect your energy proactively rather than reactively. Set clear goals to guide your energy investments. When you know what you want to achieve, it becomes easier to say no to distractions and energy drains. Goals provide direction and motivation, clarifying where your energy is best spent. Aligning your actions with your goals maximizes the return on your energy investment. Recognize that rest is a critical part of protecting your energy. Pushing through fatigue without adequate recovery leads to diminished performance and health risks. Schedule regular downtime to recharge mentally and physically. Rest is not laziness. It is a strategic necessity for sustained energy and productivity. Develop habits that reduce decision fatigue, which drains mental energy. Simplify choices in areas like clothing, meals, or routines to conserve mental bandwidth. This energy can then be redirected toward more meaningful decisions and creative thinking. Reducing unnecessary mental effort protects your focus and stamina. Celebrate your progress in protecting your energy. Notice how saying no frees up time and strength for your priorities. Recognize the improved quality of your work, relationships, and well-being when you guard your energy effectively. Positive reinforcement encourages continued commitment to this vital practice. Understand that energy protection is a lifelong practice. New challenges and demands will arise, requiring ongoing vigilance and adjustment. Flexibility and persistence are necessary to maintain balance and avoid depletion. Consistent attention to your energy sets a foundation for enduring success and fulfillment. Ultimately, saying no to anything that weakens your energy is a declaration of self-respect and empowerment. It places you in control of your life and priorities. This choice fosters resilience, clarity, and strength, enabling you to pursue your goals with sustained vigor. Protecting your energy transforms your capacity to live fully and intentionally. Begin today by identifying one activity, habit, or relationship that drains your energy unnecessarily. Commit to saying no to it or reducing its impact in your life. Observe the effects on your mood, focus, and productivity. Build from this small step to create a broader practice of energy protection. Your future self will thank you for the discipline and wisdom you cultivate now. Chapter 16. Keep promises you make to yourself every time. Keeping promises you make to yourself is one of the most powerful ways to build trust and integrity within. When you commit to something internally and follow through, you reinforce your belief that you are reliable and capable. This consistency forms the foundation of self-discipline and self-respect. The habit of honoring your own word builds momentum that carries over into other areas of life, improving relationships, productivity, and overall well-being. Breaking promises to yourself, on the other hand, chips away at confidence and fosters doubt, making it harder to stay motivated and focused. The first step in keeping promises to yourself is to be realistic and intentional about the commitments you make. Promises are only meaningful when they align with your values and capabilities. Avoid overloading yourself with too many goals or vague resolutions. Instead, set clear, achievable promises that excite and motivate you. When your promises are specific and manageable, you increase the likelihood of follow-through. This clarity reduces the chance of discouragement and failure. Writing down your promises enhances your commitment. Putting your goals or intentions on paper creates a tangible record and reinforces accountability. This practice externalizes your internal commitments, making them harder to ignore or forget. Review your written promises regularly to remind yourself of your intentions. This process helps keep your promises top of mind and maintains focus. Create a system to track your progress in keeping promises. Whether it's a journal, an app, or a calendar, monitoring your actions builds awareness and honesty. Tracking allows you to celebrate successes and identify areas needing improvement. It transforms vague intentions into measurable habits. This feedback loop is crucial for maintaining motivation and adjusting strategies when necessary. Build a routine around your promises to create structure and reduce resistance. When keeping a promise becomes part of your daily ritual, it shifts from a decision to a habit. Habits require less mental energy and are more sustainable over time. For example, if you promise to exercise daily, committing to a specific time and place for that activity makes it easier to follow through. Consistency is the engine that drives progress. When obstacles arise, remind yourself why you made the promise. Connecting your actions to a deeper purpose strengthens resolve and helps overcome challenges. Visualize the benefits of keeping your promise and the consequences of breaking it. This mental rehearsal reinforces commitment and primes you for action. Motivation can waver, but purpose sustains. Avoid perfectionism by accepting that slip-ups are part of growth. Breaking a promise once does not mean failure. What matters is how you respond afterward. Use setbacks as learning opportunities rather than reasons to quit. Reflect on what caused the lapse and adjust your approach to prevent repetition. This mindset fosters resilience and perseverance. Practice self-compassion while maintaining accountability. Being harsh or critical when you falter drains motivation and undermines your efforts. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, recognizing that growth is a process. Balancing compassion with responsibility creates a healthy environment for change. This balance encourages continued commitment and progress. Strengthen your self-trust by keeping small promises daily. These small wins accumulate and build confidence in your ability to follow through. Simple commitments like drinking enough water, waking up on time, or reading a few pages establish reliability. Over time, these consistent actions empower you to tackle bigger goals. Self-trust grows from consistent evidence of your integrity. Surround yourself with reminders and cues that support your promises. Visual triggers like notes, alarms, or inspirational quotes keep your commitments visible and urgent. These prompts reduce forgetfulness and boost motivation. Environmental support is a valuable tool in maintaining consistency and reinforcing your promises. Share your promises with someone you trust to increase accountability. When others know about your commitments, you feel a greater sense of responsibility. This external accountability complements your internal motivation. Choose someone supportive who encourages rather than judges. Regular check-ins with this person can sustain momentum and provide encouragement. Celebrate milestones and progress toward keeping your promises. Acknowledging achievements reinforces positive behavior and energizes your efforts. Reward yourself in meaningful ways that support your goals. This positive reinforcement makes the process enjoyable and sustainable. Be mindful of the language you use when making promises to yourself. Use positive and affirming words that inspire action rather than doubt or fear. For example, say, "I will complete this task today" instead of "I hope I can do this." Clear, confident language sets a tone of certainty and commitment. Reflect regularly on the alignment between your promises and your evolving goals. Life changes, and so do priorities. Adjust your promises to remain relevant and motivating. This flexibility prevents frustration and maintains engagement. Reassessing your commitments keeps your efforts focused on what truly matters. Recognize that keeping promises to yourself is an act of empowerment. It affirms your control over your life and choices. This practice shifts your mindset from victimhood to ownership. Taking responsibility for your commitments builds confidence and opens doors to new possibilities. Develop patience and persistence as you build the habit of honoring promises. Change rarely happens overnight. Sustained effort over time is what creates lasting transformation. Embrace the journey and trust the process. Each promise kept is a step forward on the path to becoming your best self. Integrate mindfulness to enhance awareness of your promises and actions. Being present allows you to catch moments when you might stray from your commitments. Mindfulness fosters intentionality and focus, key elements in maintaining discipline. This awareness empowers you to course-correct promptly and effectively. Avoid making promises under pressure or emotional distress. Commitments made in haste or emotional imbalance are less likely to be fulfilled. Take time to evaluate your intentions calmly before promising. Thoughtful decision-making increases the likelihood of success and satisfaction. Use visualization techniques to strengthen your resolve. Imagine yourself successfully keeping your promises and experiencing the benefits. This mental imagery builds confidence and prepares you mentally for the effort required. Visualization acts as a rehearsal that primes your mind for action. Remember that every promise you keep builds a positive identity. Your actions shape how you see yourself and how others perceive you. Consistently honoring your word cultivates an image of reliability, strength, and integrity. This identity attracts opportunities and supportive relationships. Start now by choosing one promise you will keep today. Make it clear, achievable, and meaningful. Commit fully and take action to honor it. Notice how fulfilling this promise affects your confidence and motivation. Build on this success to create a lifetime habit of keeping your promises to yourself. Chapter 17. Write down your goals and read them daily. Writing down your goals is a powerful act that transforms vague wishes into clear intentions. Putting your goals on paper gives them shape and substance. It moves them from abstract ideas floating in your mind into concrete objectives that you can focus on daily. This simple act builds clarity and purpose, providing a roadmap for your efforts. When goals are written down, they become commitments to yourself that demand attention and action. Reading your goals every day keeps them fresh in your mind. Regular review reinforces your focus and aligns your daily choices with your bigger aspirations. This practice creates a mental framework where your goals guide your thoughts, decisions, and behaviors. The more you immerse yourself in your goals, the more naturally your actions begin to reflect them. This constant reminder serves as motivation and accountability, preventing distraction and complacency. Writing goals makes them measurable and specific. Instead of general desires, you clarify what you want to achieve, why it matters, and how you will get there. This specificity is crucial because it breaks down large ambitions into manageable steps. When you write detailed goals, you create checkpoints that help you monitor progress. These milestones provide encouragement and highlight areas needing adjustment. The clarity gained through writing fuels persistence and direction. The act of reading goals daily helps build emotional connection to them. As you recite your goals, you engage your feelings and imagination. This emotional involvement energizes your commitment and determination. Visualizing the outcome as you read your goals strengthens belief in your ability to succeed. This process activates your subconscious mind, aligning it with your conscious intentions. The daily ritual bridges the gap between dreaming and doing. Writing and reading goals develop discipline and consistency. These habits require daily time and attention, training your mind to prioritize what matters most. Consistency breeds momentum, and momentum sustains effort during challenges. This disciplined approach creates a foundation of steady progress. It prevents you from drifting aimlessly or reacting only to immediate demands. Instead, your days become purposeful and intentional. Keeping your goals visible supports focus. Place your written goals where you will see them often, such as on a desk, mirror, or phone wallpaper. Frequent exposure acts as a gentle nudge, steering your mind back to your priorities. This visibility reduces forgetfulness and distractions. It also encourages reflection throughout the day on whether your actions align with your objectives. Update your goals as you grow and learn. Life is dynamic, and so should be your ambitions. Revisiting and revising your written goals keeps them relevant and inspiring. Adjustments might involve refining timelines, adding new challenges, or shifting focus based on experiences. This flexibility ensures your goals remain motivating and attainable. Writing them anew maintains the freshness of your commitment. Include positive affirmations along with your goals to enhance mindset. Affirmations are statements of belief that counter doubt and fear. When combined with goal reading, affirmations reinforce confidence and resilience. They prepare your mind to face obstacles with strength rather than discouragement. This mental conditioning is an important aspect of goal achievement. Use goal writing to clarify your values and purpose. When your goals reflect what truly matters to you, they become more meaningful and motivating. This alignment increases your commitment and satisfaction. Writing encourages introspection about what you want from life beyond superficial desires. Purpose-driven goals inspire sustained effort and fulfillment. Break large goals into smaller, actionable steps in your writing. This breakdown simplifies the process and makes progress measurable. It reduces overwhelm and builds confidence through frequent achievements. Each small step completed brings you closer to the overall goal. This incremental approach transforms ambition into manageable daily actions. Make your goal writing detailed and vivid. Describe not only what you want, but how achieving it will feel and impact your life. Engaging multiple senses in your writing makes the goals more real and compelling. This vividness ignites motivation and keeps your attention anchored to your desired future. Commit to a daily routine of writing and reading your goals. Consistency solidifies the habit and amplifies its effects. Choose a quiet moment each day to focus fully on this practice. Use it as a moment of clarity and intention setting. Over time, this ritual becomes a cornerstone of your personal growth. Avoid vague or generic goal statements. Instead, be precise about what you want, when, and why. Clear goals enable effective planning and action. Ambiguity leads to confusion and indecision. Writing sharpens your thinking and removes uncertainty. Reflect on the progress you make toward your goals when you read them. Celebrate small wins and analyze setbacks constructively. This reflection maintains motivation and guides improvement. Writing progress notes alongside goals enhances this process. Share your written goals with trusted people for added accountability. Discussing your goals invites support, encouragement, and feedback. External accountability complements your internal commitment. This sharing can inspire collaboration and open new opportunities. Use goal writing as a tool for problem solving. When facing challenges, write down obstacles and potential solutions. This practice clarifies your path and reduces anxiety. It empowers proactive thinking and creative approaches. Remember that goal writing is an ongoing dialogue with yourself. It is not a one-time event, but a living process. Engage with your goals actively and adaptively. This dynamic interaction fosters growth and success. Through daily writing and reading of goals, you cultivate a mindset of achievement and purpose. This habit empowers you to take control of your life direction. It transforms hopes into plans and plans into actions. The discipline of consistent engagement with your goals creates a powerful force for transformation. Chapter 18. Give your full effort even when no one sees. Giving your full effort even when no one sees is a defining practice of true character and discipline. It is easy to give your best when others are watching, praising, or holding you accountable. The real test of commitment lies in what you do when no audience is present, when the applause is absent, and no immediate reward is in sight. This consistent dedication builds inner strength and integrity. It strengthens the foundation upon which lasting success and personal growth are built. Putting forth your best work behind the scenes creates a habit of excellence. When you act with full effort, regardless of external recognition, you train yourself to value the process over the outcome. This shift in focus reduces dependence on external validation and builds self-motivation. You begin to measure your progress by your own standards rather than the approval of others. This mindset fosters resilience in the face of setbacks and encourages continuous improvement. Effort invested without visibility also prepares you for opportunities that arise unexpectedly. Often, the groundwork laid in solitude or obscurity becomes the launching pad for future success. Whether it's mastering a skill, building discipline, or accumulating knowledge, consistent, unseen effort compounds over time. When the moment to shine comes, your preparation ensures you are ready. This quiet persistence creates a competitive advantage few notice until results become undeniable. Maintain high standards for your work regardless of circumstances. Excellence should be a personal commitment rather than a response to external pressure. Strive for quality in every task, whether large or small, recognized or hidden. This approach enhances your skills and builds pride in your efforts. It also influences your mindset, encouraging focus, care, and responsibility. These qualities become habitual and positively impact all areas of life. Focus on the intrinsic rewards of giving your full effort. Satisfaction comes from knowing you have done your best and acted with integrity. This internal fulfillment sustains motivation when external rewards are absent. It builds confidence and self-respect that no one can take away. When you value your own effort, you cultivate a mindset of ownership and empowerment. Understand that effort is a form of respect toward yourself and your goals. It shows that you take your commitment seriously and honor your potential. By dedicating yourself fully, even without recognition, you demonstrate discipline and dedication. This respect sets a standard for how you expect to be treated by others. It also influences how you view challenges and setbacks as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles. Avoid shortcuts and half-hearted attempts, especially when unseen. Cutting corners erodes your confidence and builds negative habits. Over time, small compromises in effort add up to mediocrity. Consistent full effort builds momentum and creates positive reinforcement. This cycle leads to mastery and achievement. Your work ethic becomes a defining trait that guides your choices and actions. Develop patience and trust in the long-term value of your efforts. Results often take time to manifest and may not be immediately visible. Keeping faith in your process builds resilience against frustration and discouragement. Remember that slow and steady progress is more sustainable and meaningful than quick, sporadic bursts. Persistence through unseen efforts lays the groundwork for lasting impact. Embrace challenges as opportunities to demonstrate your full effort. Difficult tasks test your commitment and character, Approaching them with dedication strengthens your problem-solving skills and adaptability. This willingness to engage fully regardless of difficulty fosters growth and confidence. It prepares you to face future challenges with greater ease and competence. Cultivate self-discipline by committing to your best effort as a daily habit. Discipline is built through repeated actions, not occasional bursts. When effort becomes a non-negotiable part of your routine, it reduces reliance on motivation or mood. This consistency enables you to perform well, even on days when enthusiasm is low. The habit of giving your all forms the backbone of sustained achievement. Recognize the role of mindset in maintaining full effort. A growth mindset sees effort as the path to improvement rather than a punishment. This perspective turns challenges into learning experiences. It encourages you to view setbacks as temporary and surmountable. Cultivating this mindset fuels perseverance and resilience, supporting ongoing effort regardless of external feedback. Celebrate the small wins that come from giving your full effort. Even if no one else notices, acknowledge your own progress and growth. This practice reinforces positive behavior and keeps motivation alive. It reminds you that your efforts have value independent of external recognition. Self-celebration strengthens your connection to your goals and your belief in your ability. Surround yourself with reminders of your commitment to excellence. Visual cues, affirmations, or personal rituals can reinforce the habit of full effort. These tools help maintain focus and intention, especially during moments of distraction or doubt. Creating an environment that supports your values makes it easier to uphold your standards consistently. Reflect regularly on your performance and effort levels. Honest self-assessment helps identify areas for improvement and growth. It also highlights the progress made through unseen dedication. Use reflection as a tool to adjust strategies and renew commitment. This continuous feedback loop fosters mastery and keeps your effort aligned with your goals. Avoid relying on external rewards as the sole source of motivation. While recognition and praise are valuable, they should not dictate your effort. True motivation comes from within and is sustained by purpose and self-respect. Focus on the satisfaction of doing your best and the long-term benefits it brings. This internal drive is more reliable and fulfilling. Practice humility by valuing effort over accolades. Humility allows you to appreciate the work itself rather than seeking approval. It encourages learning and growth without ego interference. Humble dedication builds character and earns genuine respect. This attitude keeps you grounded and open to continuous improvement. Commit to full effort, even in mundane or repetitive tasks. These activities may not be glamorous, but contribute significantly to your development and success. Approaching every task with dedication trains your discipline and work ethic. This consistency creates a ripple effect that elevates all your endeavors. Understand that giving your full effort influences those around you. Your commitment can inspire colleagues, friends, and family. Leading by example demonstrates the power of integrity and perseverance. This positive influence fosters a culture of excellence and mutual support. Finally, remember that your unseen efforts define who you are more than public achievements. Character is built in moments when no one is watching. These moments reveal your true values and commitment. By giving your full effort consistently, you create a life of meaning, accomplishment, and self-respect. This foundation prepares you to seize opportunities and face challenges with confidence and strength. Chapter 19. Let go of past mistakes and forgive yourself. Holding on to past mistakes weighs heavily on the mind and hinders progress. Clinging to regret creates unnecessary suffering and traps energy in unproductive cycles. Letting go of these errors frees mental space and emotional strength, needed for growth. Forgiving yourself is an essential act of kindness and wisdom that allows healing to begin. It is not a denial of responsibility, but a conscious choice to move forward with awareness and self-respect. The process of releasing past mistakes begins with acceptance. Recognize that errors are part of the human experience and opportunities for learning. Avoid denying or minimizing what happened, yet do not allow it to define your worth or future. Accept that you made decisions based on the information and circumstances available at the time. This acknowledgement creates a balanced perspective, freeing you from harsh self-judgment. Self-forgiveness involves understanding that perfection is unattainable. Holding unrealistic expectations about flawless behavior only fuels disappointment. Embrace your imperfections as part of being human. This mindset shifts focus from shame to growth. It encourages curiosity about what can be learned and improved rather than dwelling on failure. Reflect on the lessons your mistakes offer. Each misstep contains valuable insights into your values, triggers, and habits. Extracting these lessons transforms past errors into stepping stones toward wisdom. This approach reframes mistakes from being burdens to becoming guides. Viewing them as teachers empowers you to make better choices moving forward. Practice self-compassion actively. Speak to yourself with kindness and patience when recalling past mistakes. Replace harsh criticism with supportive and understanding language. This internal dialogue shapes how you experience and process regret. Compassion fosters emotional resilience and reduces the grip of guilt and shame. Create rituals or habits that symbolize letting go. Writing a letter of forgiveness to yourself or performing a symbolic act can mark this transition. These actions externalize the process and make it more tangible. Rituals help the mind and heart accept change and release past burdens more fully. Understand that forgiving yourself benefits your overall well-being. Carrying resentment toward yourself can lead to anxiety, depression, and physical stress. Self-forgiveness promotes emotional balance and peace of mind. It clears the way for healthier relationships with others by reducing defensive or self-sabotaging behaviors. Set boundaries around your thoughts about past mistakes. When intrusive or negative thoughts arise, gently redirect your attention to the present moment. Mindfulness practices support this process by cultivating awareness without judgment. Over time, this strengthens control over rumination and fosters mental clarity. Seek support if needed. Talking with trusted friends, mentors, or therapists can provide perspective and guidance. External support can ease the burden of self-forgiveness and offer tools for healing. Remember that reaching out is a sign of strength and commitment to growth. Avoid equating mistakes with your identity. A poor decision does not define who you are as a person. Separate your actions from your inherent worth. This distinction allows you to learn from behavior without damaging your self-esteem. Embracing this separation is key to moving forward authentically. Focus on present and future actions rather than past errors. Concentrate your energy on what you can control now. Taking positive steps toward your goals reinforces your capacity for change. This forward-looking approach replaces stagnation with momentum. Recognize the power of vulnerability in forgiving yourself. Allowing yourself to feel pain, disappointment, or regret opens the door to healing. Vulnerability connects you to your humanity and encourages genuine growth. Suppressing these emotions prolongs suffering and inhibits progress. Practice gratitude for your growth and resilience. Appreciate the strength it takes to face your mistakes and commit to change. Gratitude shifts your mindset from lack to abundance, reinforcing positive feelings. This attitude nurtures hope and optimism for the future. Forgiving yourself also involves forgiving others connected to past events. Holding grudges toward others can reinforce your own suffering. Releasing these negative feelings creates emotional freedom for all parties involved. This holistic forgiveness promotes peace and healthier relationships. Commit to patience with yourself throughout this process. Self-forgiveness is not instantaneous, but gradual. Some days will feel easier than others. Maintaining steady effort and understanding fosters lasting healing. Trust the journey and honor your progress. Replace self-punishment with constructive actions. Channel feelings of regret into productive habits like journaling, exercise, or creative expression. These outlets provide healthy ways to process emotions and redirect energy positively. Engaging in growth-oriented activities strengthens your commitment to improvement. Visualize a future where past mistakes no longer control your emotions or decisions. Imagine living with freedom, confidence, and self-respect. This mental image motivates perseverance and reinforces your intention to forgive. Visualization is a powerful tool that aligns your mind with your goals. Remind yourself that forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It is an act of self-love that nurtures your spirit. Holding on to resentment only prolongs pain. Choosing forgiveness opens the path to peace and fulfillment. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes. You are not alone in your experiences or struggles. This shared human condition fosters empathy and reduces isolation. Connecting with others' stories can inspire courage to forgive and heal. Ultimately, letting go of past mistakes and forgiving yourself is a courageous choice. It requires honesty, humility, and commitment. This choice liberates you from the chains of regret and empowers you to live fully in the present. Forgiveness is a foundation for personal transformation and lifelong growth. Chapter 20. Do hard things that make you feel alive. Choosing to do hard things that make you feel alive is a powerful way to ignite growth and deepen your experience of life. Challenges have a unique ability to sharpen your mind, strengthen your character, and reveal capacities you may not know you possess. When you face difficult tasks head-on, you engage fully with the present moment, pushing beyond comfort and routine. This engagement creates a sense of aliveness that is both invigorating and transformative. Hard things test your limits and expand them simultaneously. Each time you step into discomfort, you rewrite the boundaries of what you believe is possible. This expansion builds confidence and resilience, showing you that you are stronger than fear or doubt. Facing difficulty intentionally shifts your mindset from avoidance to empowerment. It turns obstacles into opportunities for mastery and self-discovery. The feeling of being truly alive comes from embracing discomfort rather than running from it. Avoiding hard tasks may bring temporary relief, but leads to stagnation. Growth requires effort, struggle, and persistence. By choosing to do what is hard, you cultivate mental toughness and perseverance. These qualities enable you to handle future challenges with greater ease and grace. Hard work creates meaning and purpose. When you dedicate yourself to demanding goals, your efforts become deeply fulfilling. The process of overcoming adversity connects you to your values and aspirations. This connection fuels motivation and gives your daily actions significance. Striving through difficulty prevents life from becoming monotonous and superficial. Doing hard things also sharpens your problem-solving skills. Challenges often require creativity, patience, and critical thinking. Engaging with complexity trains your brain to approach problems from multiple angles. This cognitive flexibility is valuable not only in personal growth but also in professional and social contexts. The more you practice tackling tough tasks, the more adept you become at navigating uncertainty. Taking on difficult tasks enhances self-discipline. Hard things rarely yield quick gratification, demanding sustained focus and effort. Building this habit of delayed reward strengthens your ability to stay committed even when motivation wanes. Discipline developed through challenge carries over to all areas of life, improving productivity and emotional regulation. Seek challenges that align with your values and passions. Not all difficulties contribute equally to your growth or happiness. Choose tasks that stretch you in meaningful ways, rather than those imposed by external pressure or obligation. This alignment ensures your hard work is purposeful and rewarding. It also reduces the risk of burnout or resentment. Prepare mentally and physically before engaging with hard tasks. Approach them with respect and realistic expectations. Break large challenges into manageable steps to avoid overwhelm. This strategy increases your chances of success and builds momentum. Celebrate progress at each stage to maintain motivation and confidence. Maintain a positive attitude toward failure during hard efforts. Mistakes and setbacks are natural parts of growth. Viewing them as feedback rather than defeat encourages persistence. This mindset shift reduces fear and anxiety around difficulty. It transforms failures into learning experiences that deepen your understanding and skill. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your pursuit of hard things. A strong support system provides motivation, advice, and accountability. Sharing your struggles and achievements fosters connection and shared growth. Positive relationships create an environment where taking on challenges feels safer and more rewarding. Reflect regularly on the impact of doing hard things in your life. Notice changes in your confidence, resilience, and perspective. This reflection reinforces the value of effort and encourages continued commitment. It also helps identify areas where you can push further or adjust your approach. Balance challenge with rest and recovery. Taking on hard things requires energy and focus, so prioritize self-care to sustain your efforts. Adequate sleep, nutrition, and relaxation support your physical and mental capacity. Rest allows you to return to challenges refreshed and ready. Cultivate curiosity about your limits and potential. Approach hard tasks as experiments and explorations rather than tests to pass or fail. This mindset reduces pressure and opens you to learning. Curiosity keeps the process engaging and encourages creativity and overcoming obstacles. Recognize that doing hard things builds character traits like courage, patience, and humility. These traits deepen your relationships and enrich your inner life. Engaging with difficulty teaches empathy and understanding for others facing their own struggles. Character development is a vital outcome of pushing beyond comfort zones. Integrate hard tasks into your daily routine to create consistent growth. Small daily challenges compound over time, leading to significant transformation. This habit of regular effort makes resilience and strength part of your identity. Consistency also prevents procrastination and builds momentum. Use visualization techniques to prepare for hard things. Imagine yourself succeeding and handling difficulties with calm and skill. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for effective action. Visualization enhances confidence and reduces anxiety before facing challenges. Accept that discomfort is temporary and growth is lasting. Difficult moments pass, but the benefits you gain endure. Keeping this perspective helps maintain motivation during tough times. It reminds you that enduring struggle is an investment in your future self. Celebrate your courage to face hard things regardless of outcomes. The willingness to try, fail, and try again is a victory in itself. Recognize that effort and bravery hold intrinsic value. This celebration fosters a positive relationship with challenge and encourages ongoing pursuit. Keep learning from each hard experience. Analyze what worked, what didn't, and how you can improve. This continuous learning cycle sharpens your skills and deepens your wisdom. It ensures that every difficult task contributes to your personal evolution. Finally, doing hard things that make you feel alive connects you deeply to your potential. It awakens your sense of purpose and fills your life with energy and meaning. This practice transforms obstacles into opportunities and fear into courage. Embracing difficulty is a path to fulfillment and self-mastery that enriches every moment of your journey.